I'm building a city in the desert. This video is purely for entertainment and does not infringe on copyrights or laws. The rights to the novel and image belong to the original author. We do not claim ownership. Don't like waiting and want to listen to this fanfic in full now? Subscribe to our Patreon, where you'll find the best fanfics. Chapter 1. I inherited my grandfather's desert. At noon, the sun was blazing in the sky, and the Cultivated desert in the northwest was scorching. There was a village built at the foot of a mountain on the edge of the desert. When the wind blew, people were choked by yellow sand. Walking into the village, a farmer's house not far from the entrance of the village sounded mournful music. Walking in, I saw that the main room of this family had been burnt to ashes. A group of villagers gathered at the gate of the courtyard. They talked about it and looked at the village chief in the courtyard who was educating a young man. Don't cry. What's the use of crying? Living in the desert is also suffering. The sooner you die, the sooner you will be reborn. I wish I could die now and be reborn at the seaside in my next life. After the village chief finished speaking, the tall and thin accountant with the side-parted hair next to him also spoke. Jiang Chen, your grandfather is gone, and our village has considered your situation. It's not easy for college graduates to just graduate. We can't let you take on a loan of hundreds of thousands at such a young age. Therefore, the village decided to waive your money. Now you sign it, and live a good life in the village in the future. After the accountant finished speaking, he handed over a contract. Looking at the red-headed desert sublease contract, Jiang Chen shook his head. His grandfather's body was still cold, and the villagers were eager to take away his grandfather's desert. He refused. I won't sign, Jiang Chen said, and Jiang Datu stood up after slapping the table. What's the use of the desert? You can't grow crops on it, and you can't eat it. It's better to use it as a debt. Today, the boss of Penguin Mining is kind and willing to pay off your grandfather's debt. Otherwise, how can you pay it back? That's 800,000. After the village chief finished speaking, the accountant persuaded him again. Young people should know the times and be heroes. They can contract to open a mine, and they have the capital. If you can't open it, don't block their way. Jiang Chen, we are all family. You name a number. If you can meet it, I will talk to Boss Zhao. After the accountant finished speaking, Jiang Chen stood up directly. Don't say anything. I won't contract out the land even if I want to leave it empty. Don't think I don't know you. My grandfather's death was caused by you guys. Jiang Chen is not a pushover. What's more, his grandfather is gone now. He couldn't be timid. His grandfather's death was strange. He had to find out the reason. You're so brave. You wait for me. After the accountant finished speaking, a big man with a face full of flesh at the gate of the yard shouted at Jiang Chen. Young man, don't be ungrateful. Sign it quickly if you know what's good for you. Look at how miserable your grandfather died. The body was burnt to a crisp. You don't want to die so miserably, do you? After the big man finished speaking, a few second-rate people at the gate left. Hey Daeyoung, you son of a bitch, wait for me. If I know that my grandfather's death is related to you, I will kill you. After Jiang Chen finished cursing, the accountant saw that Jiang Chen was going to resist to the end, so he snorted and left. After a few people left, the dilapidated thatched house courtyard became quiet. Grandpa, I won't let you die in vain. I will definitely catch the murderer. I will make sure they die a miserable death. After Jiang Chen finished speaking, he looked at the desert behind the mountain. Since the gold mine was discovered in the desert a year ago, the village has gone crazy. The village, which was originally deserted, was instantly filled with people. In order to prevent others from stealing gold mines, the county sent several waves of armed police. In the evening, the heat wave faded a little. Jiang Chen picked up a shovel alone and dug a grave where his grandfather was burned to death. At this moment, the sunset was about to set. A round sun hung in the sky, a few wisps of smoke rose, and the small village was quiet. Grandpa, there is not much your grandson can do. Let the village chief guard your grave. After Jiang Chen finished speaking, he pointed the head of the coffin at the door of Jiang Datu's house next door. He wanted to let Jiang Datu know the pain of going out to see a grave. After burying his grandfather, Jiang Chen was exhausted. The stars arose in the sky, and the night enveloped the earth. He fell asleep in the only thatched house left in his home. Jiang Chen, wake up quickly. When Jiang Chen was sleeping, he suddenly heard the familiar call. Opening his eyes, Jiang Chen was shocked. Black smoke billowed around, and shadows danced in the distance. How could this be a human scene? Grandpa, is that you? Jiang Chen called out cautiously, and suddenly the smoke dissipated, and a simple and quaint hall appeared in front of him. The tall pillars of the hall soared into the sky, and the gray bricks and tiles and the suspended eaves were solemn and majestic. Under the starry sky, Jiang Chen saw the plaque on the hall. Yunsai Sha Temple. Outside the Shah temple, the ox-headed and horse-faced god stood on both sides holding swords and axes, looking very majestic. Take Jiang Chen from Delane village into the hall. A judge in a grey robe and a black official hat said, and Jiang Chen followed him uncontrollably into the Shah temple. In the hall, civil and military officials stood on both sides, and Jiang Chen saw the person on the throne. The man was wearing a red official robe with dragons and phoenixes carved on it. He was tall and wore an official hat with a jade curtain, which made him look very majestic. He was not familiar with the man's dress, but he looked like his grandfather without a doubt. "Grandpa?" Jiang Chen asked in a low voice, and the people in the hall burst into tears. "Chen, it's Grandpa, my dear grandson, come and show Grandpa," Grandpa said, and strode down from the throne. "Grandpa, you are not dead." "That's great." After Jiang Chen shouted, Grandpa sighed. "No, Grandpa's dead." "This isn't your dream, it's a dream that Grandpa gave you." "In a dream?" Jiang Chen said in disbelief, and Grandpa nodded. "Yes, in a dream. Chen, Grandpa is an official in the underworld. The king of hell saw that I have been planting trees in the desert for a lifetime, and he was very moved. He appointed me as the god of the underworld. Now I help the king of hell to guard the desert. Look, the desert in our Delane village is Grandpa's territory." Zhang Xiaobian said proudly, and Jiang Chen looked over. Sure enough, the desert outside the door was endless. "Grandpa, it's great that you can enjoy happiness in the underworld." Hearing that Grandpa was fine, Jiang Chen was very happy for him. "Xiao Chen, Grandpa sensed that you were in danger, so I came to tell you. Hurry up, don't sleep, run out of the house." After Grandpa finished speaking, Jiang Chen was stunned. Why did he run out of the house? "Grandpa, tell me if John Dada set your hut on fire. I want to help you get revenge." Jiang Chen clenched his fists and said. Grandpa shook his head. "My death will be decided by the judge, dear grandson, don't ask, wake up." Grandpa pushed Jiang Chen hard after speaking, and Jiang Chen felt his feet empty and sat up instantly. "Ah!" Jiang Chen shouted. It turned out to be a dream, a false alarm. However, at this moment, the choking smell of smoke made him cough non-stop. Cough cough cough, cough cough cough, Who set the fire? Jiang Chen woke up and found that his hut was on fire. At this moment, the fire had already spread to the roof, and the thatched roof had been engulfed by the fire. If he woke up later, he would be dead. He hurried out of the house, but the door was locked. Jiang Chen kept banging on the door, but it didn't move. In the yard, in the night, two sturdy young men were smoking and talking. "Damn it, want this burning to death. If we kill him, the boss's mind can be opened. Isn't it? Just because his grandson doesn't sign, our village's mine will never be opened. That day, we will lose hundreds of thousands of dollars. This bastard wants to harm our village." Just as the two men finished speaking, there was a sudden bang, and the burning window was kicked open. Under the starlight, the two men saw a young man rushing out of the fire. The young man was holding a kitchen knife and his clothes were burned by the flames. "Fuck, he's not dead." The two young men shouted and stood up. This was going to be difficult. Chapter 2 Grandpa is an official down there. It is Wang. If you dare to burn my house, I will chop you to death. After seeing the people in the yard, Jiang Chen cursed and rushed towards the two people. The two people hesitated for a moment and turned around and ran away. After chasing for half of the village, the two people ran away soon because they were exhausted from digging graves. When he came back from outside the village, Jiang Chen's thatched house had been burned out. Looking at the thatched house filled with thick smoke, Jiang Chen thought of the little things he had did here with his grandfather. But now everything has turned to ashes. "It is Wang, wait for me." In the early morning, the sun broke and the east was white. Early in the morning, Jiang Chen heard the curse of John Dada's wife. "Oh, how wicked. How can you bury the dead in the village? Why is it facing my door? How can I go out in the future?" Jiang Chen packed his bags and there was nothing left in the yard. "Those who can't kill me will eventually make me stronger. Wait, live in the fear of my grandfather." Jiang Chen finished speaking and went to the desert with the only food on his back. "Delane village won't keep me, so from now on I will live in my grandfather's orchard. I know you will do it again, and this time, I will definitely find out the real culprit behind the scenes." Jiang Chen knew that he Wang was a simple-minded and strong-limbed idiot, and there must be someone behind him. Back to the orchard, in a place close to the desert, there appeared 100 acres of scattered fruit trees. There are not many fruit trees, less than 1,000, and most of them are in quicksand. This orchard is the life's work of Jiang Chen's grandfather. However, because there has been no watering for a few days, many leaves have drooped. Without water, this orchard will die. This 100-acre improved orchard will not be able to bear fruit this year. Alas, I don't know why Grandpa is so persistent. But it's a pity that such a big tree died, and I have to find water. After Jiang Chen finished speaking, he turned on his mobile phone and started calling Uncle Schwineu, who was in charge of water in the village. He had to take on this orchard. Before he found the real murderer, he had to rely on it to support himself. Uncle Buffalo, can you give me, Jiang? Don't call. Uncle advises you not to fight with them. They are ruthless and have a lot of money. Village Chief Jiang who listens to them. You can't fight them. Uncle Buffalo hung up the phone after saying that. Jiang Chen called the water supply station in Qianla village next door. After several calls, no one answered. Jiang Chen knew that these people had been bribed by the people of Pangam mining. Alas. Jiang Chen sighed. In front of capital, the people in his hometown seemed so powerless. The sun was getting hotter and hotter, and the temperature in the desert instantly rose to more than 30 degrees. Not to mention that the fruit trees could not hold on. Without the thatched house, even Jiang Chen was almost suffering from heat stroke. No, we must persist. The real murderer will definitely come today. Looking at the desert with rolling heat waves, Jiang Chen slowly lost consciousness. Jiang Chen, my dear grandson. Just when Jiang Chen was dying, a pair of big hands suddenly picked him up. He looked at the familiar face like a baby. Grandpa, I don't know what happened to the desert today. In the past 10 years, the desert has never been so hot. Hurry up and drink some water, my good grandson. Grandpa is here to save you. The grandfather in the red official robe took out a jade bottle and gulped the water into Jiang Chen's mouth. As the spring water entered his mouth, all the cells in Jiang Chen's body were excited. He had never felt so comfortable, as if he was drinking not water but fairy dew. Gulp gulp. Jiang Chen, with a smoking throat, drank the whole bottle of water in one go. Grandpa, I won't give up. They will definitely come again today, and this time, I will definitely catch them. After Jiang Chen finished speaking, the grandfather just frowned and felt distressed. He felt distressed that his grandson would rather die in the desert to avenge him. The judge next to him also frowned. The king of hell finally gave the Sanghat a pot of elixir, but he used it up like this. What a grandson, at least leave a sit for him. Hey, Jiang, don't be so persistent. Only by letting go of hatred can you live a better life. The grandfather in the red official robe said with a distressed look on his face, and Jiang Chen shook his head. It's not that I'm persistent, but the bad guys must pay the price, otherwise, what's the use of justice? Besides, Grandpa, haven't you been persistent in planting trees all your life? Jiang Chen didn't know if his persistence was right or wrong, but he knew that Grandpa needed justice. Also, if the bad guys don't want to be decent, Jiang Chen will help them be decent. Alas, it was Grandpa who taught you bad things. But Grandpa can't help being persistent. If Grandpa doesn't plant the orchard, the desert will swallow up Delane village. They swallowed up Delane village today, and they will swallow up Longchen County tomorrow. If Longchen County is gone, our homeland will be gone. After escaping for a lifetime, Grandpa doesn't want to escape again. And, Jiang, look. Grandpa has understood one thing in the past few days since he took office. This world is the same as Grandpa's underworld. When our Longchen County was still a grassland, the desert under Grandpa's jurisdiction was also a grassland. Now most of our Longchen County has become a desert, and the area under Grandpa's jurisdiction has also become a desert. I promised the King of Hell that I must guard this desert and prevent it from moving any further towards Fengdu City. You must also promise Grandpa to let go of your hatred and guard the desert over there. Don't let him move any further towards Delane village. After Grandpa finished speaking, Jiang Chen nodded, but it was impossible for him to let go of his hatred. I can guard the desert, but I won't give up revenge. After Jiang Chen finished speaking, Grandpa didn't object this time. Since you have a knot in your heart, then go ahead and feel free. If you need help from me, just tell me. Although I am not a high-ranking official, within 100 miles, no matter if it is a god or a ghost, they all have to give me face. After Grandpa finished speaking, Jiang Chen was delighted. That's great. Grandpa, it is why he wants to kill me, send a few ghosts to take him away. Hey, Grandpa can't violate the rules of the underworld, you have to do this yourself. Grandpa can only give you some help other than not committing a crime. After Grandpa finished speaking in the hall, Jiang Chen was a little disappointed. But it doesn't matter, anyway, those people will definitely come again tonight. Grandpa, the village has cut off the water to the orchard. Can you send a dream to Uncle Schwineu who sells water? Without water, I'm afraid that the fruit trees planted by Grandpa will die this year. After Jiang Chen finished speaking, Grandpa stroked his beard and shook his head. I can't send him a dream, it will shorten his life. I can't help you harm people, after all, I am an official in the underworld. But don't worry, Grandpa won't let you suffer any more grievances. Judge, listen to my order. I want you to dig an outlet in my orchard for the moon or underground river that flows through Delane village. Grandpa said, and the judge took the order. Jiang Chen was very excited. The most lacking thing in the desert is water. On weekdays, people have to transport water from far away. If there's an underground river outlet in his orchard, he will no longer be controlled by others. Great, Grandpa, with water, I can keep our fruit trees alive. After Jiang Chen finished speaking, Grandpa looked at the time. Jiang Chen had been here for a long time. Even if he was an official here, he couldn't let his grandson stay for a long time. Otherwise, his young energy would be depleted, which would shorten his life. The spring is next to the wooden pavilion in the orchard. Go and dig it quickly. Remember, if you're in trouble, send Grandpa a dream. After Grandpa finished speaking, Jiang Chen woke up soon. When he woke up again, it was already evening. Jiang Chen couldn't imagine how he survived the hot desert noon. You know, the temperature in the desert at noon can be as high as 30 or 40 degrees. But at this moment, Jiang Chen felt very refreshed, as if he had taken a magic medicine. In the evening, the hot desert gradually faded away, and the wind blew, and the breeze was still a little cool. Hurry up and dig the underground river. Jiang Chen said and walked to the middle of the orchard, where there was a collapsed pavilion. Jiang Chen took out a shovel and kept digging. Less than an hour after that, piles of yellow sand were shoveled away, moist soil appeared in front of him. Great. Everything is real. Jiang Chen said, speeding up. Sure enough, not long after, a small spring of water appeared in front of Jiang Chen. The river water was very clear. Jiang Chen scooped up a mouthful, and it was very cold. What good water! Jiang Chen said, lying on the ground and gulping a few mouthfuls. He quickly picked up the bucket and irrigated the orchard. Chapter 3. Don't say anything about peach and plum, it's your own fault. After watering more than a dozen fruit trees, night fell. The crescent moon hung on the sand dunes, and the cool breeze from the desert blew over, faintly chilly. This is a desert. The temperature is very high during the day, and extremely low at night. If there's no quilt for the night, you will freeze to death. Just as Jiang Chen was standing in the cold wind, thinking about where to spend the night, suddenly there were sparse voices from under the orchard. Who? Jiang Chen shouted and tightened his shovel. Are they coming? Brother Jiang Chen, it's me. Jiang Chen heard a girl's voice, and soon a girl came from behind an apricot tree. The girl was 15 or 16 years old, just in her prime, and her face looked very beautiful under the moonlight. At this moment, the girl came with a tent in one hand and a quilt in the other. Zhuxi. Jiang Chen was stunned. After not seeing her for 2 years, she actually grew up gracefully. Brother Jiang Chen, it's me. The girl's voice was very nice. The girl's name was Tang Yangxi, a name given to her by her grandfather. It was taken from the meaning of peaches and plums without words, but the path is formed by the people below. Hey, Jiang Chen, why don't you just admit your mistake to the village chief Dahu? Tang Yangxi opened the tent and put the quilt inside. I won't admit my mistake to him. Hey, don't get involved in your business. Jiang Chen, let's eat. Tang Yangxi said, skillfully spread the quilt and took a small lunchbox from his waist. After opening the lunchbox, Jiang Chen smelled a strong aroma of rice. Jiang Chen, who hadn't eaten for a day, was already hungry and his stomach was growling. Thank you. Jiang Chen said, picked up the bowl and started eating. Seeing Jiang Chen so stubborn, Tang Yangxi had no choice. Jiang Chen, my dad said that we don't have to stay in Delane village. Anyway, there's no future. Or let's go to the city. After Tang Yangxi finished speaking, Jiang Chen burped. Don't worry, no matter if he has money or not, I will definitely beat him this time. After Jiang Chen finished speaking, Tang Yangxi looked at Jiang Chen with a complicated heart. Jiang Chen is the first person from Delane village to go to Beijing to study at a university. In the words of their village, that is a golden phoenix. It is a good thing to get close to a golden phoenix, but if this golden phoenix does not know what is good for it, it is not a good thing. Well, it's up to you. Grandpa Jiang asked my father to fulfill his promise before he died. My father asked me to tell you that he is not a person who breaks his promise. You can come to propose marriage any time, but don't come after you die. After Tang Yangxi finished speaking, Jiang Chen looked at the small village outside the desert. He must fight Zhang Dahu to the end. He can't let his grandfather die in vain. Although Tang Yangxi is beautiful, he can't hurt her now. Wait another 2 years. After Jiang Chen finished speaking, Tang Yangxi's eyes seemed a little disappointed under the moonlight. Okay, then I'll wait for 2 years. I've quit my job at the hospital. I'm going to the city tomorrow and have found a job. I won't be back until the Chinese New Year next time. Tang Yanqi lowered his head after he finished speaking. Jiang Chen was angry. Is it them who did this? I'll go find them now. After graduating from medical school, Tang Yanqi returned to the town's hospital to work. She was on the payroll. In this era when the end of the universe is on the payroll, how could she quit her job casually? No, Brother Jiang Chen, I just want to change my way of life. They asked me to put pressure on you, saying that if you don't sign the contract to give up the contract, they will fire me. Haha, I copied them first. It's not a very good job, and I didn't want to do it anyway. After Tang Yanqi finished speaking, Jiang Chen gritted his teeth. It's better to go to the city to make a living than to stay in the village and be threatened by Zhang Danu. Then you go first. Sooner or later, I will ask them to bring you back in a sedan chair. Jiang Chen looked at the village with hatred. Tonight, just tonight, he can get revenge. Don't worry, one of my sister's relatives opened a media company in the city. They are now recruiting live streamers, and I'm going to apply. Speaking of live streamers, this is the hottest industry at the moment. Jiang Chen looked at Tang Yanqi. This little girl is about 16 years old this year, and her face is so tender that you can squeeze water out of it. In addition, her mother is a minority, so her face is some exotic style. This appearance cannot be said to be unparalleled in the world, but she can basically kill 90% of the internet celebrities without makeup. Speaking of this figure, Tang Yanqi is very tall and slender. The protruding parts are prominent, and the curvature is curvature, and the development is very good. Okay, you do it first, and when I get my revenge, I will take you to the province. After Jiang Chen finished speaking, Tang Yanqi smiled. When she smiled, she had two shallow dimples, which was very charming. Okay, I'll wait for you to take me to the province. My mother will bring you food tomorrow morning. When I'm settled in the city, you can come to the city to find me if they want to trouble you again. Tang Yanqi said and took the bowl back to the village. I won't look for you. I'm a grown man, how can I let a woman like you protect me? When I get revenge, I'll protect you. At night, with a tent, Jiang Chen was no longer afraid. Taking advantage of the night, Jiang Chen took a bucket and continued to water the fruit trees. It is said that when Jiang Chen was busy in the orchard, a BMW car drove into a small Western-style building on the roadside at the entrance of the village. Delane village is a poor village. There is only one small Western-style building, and that is the home of village chief Zhang Danu. After the car door opened, a middle-aged man wearing a mink and smoking a cigar got out. Fuck, who was this? Burying a grave in the village, so uncultured. Scared me. His hair was combed shiny, and the clothes on his body also showed his rich nature. Boss Zhao, welcome. Zhang Danu said as he walked out the door in his coat. Danu, how can I say hello to you? An old man and a child. How long have you been trying to get it done? Do you know how much money you've delayed me making every day? I tell you, if you can do it, do it. If you can't, I think you shouldn't get involved in this investment. Boss Zhao is the legal person of Pingam Mining. He was the first to come when a gold mine was discovered in the desert of Delane village. He spent hundreds of thousands of dollars just to make arrangements with the county and the county. Now everything is done, except for a desert contract transfer agreement for Jiang Chen. Boss Zhao, I'm anxious about this every day. That guy is very stubborn, even more stubborn than his grandfather. Zhang Danu said as Boss Zhao flipped the ash from his cigarette and smiled. Tougher than his grandfather. Can he be tougher than your fist? I tell you, if I take over this mine, I will give you at least 5 figures a month for your shares. Also, the village will definitely be relocated in the future. You know better than anyone how much benefit there is in this. If I can't work in this mine, you will eat dirt here for the rest of your life. Boss Zhao held up 5 fingers after saying this. I know, this is not a difficult thing to do. Zhang Danu's hair was almost white with worry, and he knew the benefits of this better than anyone else. As the saying goes, a machine is worth 1,000 tills of gold. As long as this mine is put into operation, will we still be short of money in the village in the future? Don't talk nonsense to me, it's the last 2 days. I don't care what method you use, just get this done for me. If you can't get the job done, get someone to do it for me. Damn, you're just wasting my time every day. Boss Zhao cursed a few words and asked someone to take out a suitcase from the car. Here is 100,000 yuan, you decide what to do with it. If he wants to hear about it, tell him to take the money and leave. If he doesn't want to listen, tell him to go to hell and find his grandfather. After Boss Zhao finished speaking, he turned around and got into the BMW. Chapter 4. Night raid on the desert. The moon was high in the sky, and the cold moonlight was rippling in Delane village. Occasionally, a few dogs barked in the village, and soon 2 ruffians walked into Zhang Danu's house. Brother Hu, what's the urgent matter at this time at night? Daong, does Wang, this matter can't be delayed. Let's do it tonight. Here are 50,000 yuan for you two to spend. When the mine in our village is built, you two will be the captains of the security team. Pay attention to yourselves, don't be like yesterday again. Zhang Datu finished smoking his pipe, and the two young men took the money. They were both well-known ruffians in this area. They usually loved to do petty thefts and climbing over widows' walls. But those were all small-scale money. In this small desert village with an annual per capita income of only a few thousand yuan, 50,000 yuan was money that many families could not earn in several years. What's more, Zhang Datu promised them that after the mine was built, he would give them 5,000 yuan a month and let them be captains. This is more than what college students earn. Don't worry, Brother Hu, I will definitely do it for you. The two happily collected the money and left. Zhang Datu smoked his pipe and looked at the back mountain. Don't blame me for being cruel. I have no choice. The village is too poor. Only by mining can I get rich. Zhang Datu finished speaking. At this moment, Jiang Chen had fallen asleep in the tent. The night was getting deeper and deeper. The wind swept across the sand dunes, rustling outside the tent. This was not the first time Jiang Chen slept in the desert. When he was young, he often squeezed into the tent with his grandfather to watch the stars. However, over the years, Grandpa's fruit trees died one after another, and he died without realizing his dream. We found him, there. Wang and Daong slowly crawled out from a pile of rocks under the fruit tree. They didn't have much time left. They had to kill Jiang Chen before dawn, and then fight the traces of him freezing to death in the desert. Go! Daong shouted, and Wang rushed towards the tent with a rope. As soon as the two men rushed to the tent, Daong cut the tent with a knife. Wang went up and tied Jiang Chen's neck with a rope. Kill you, kill you. You son of a bitch Jiang Chen, I'll let you block the village chief's money. I'll let you block my security. Wang said, and tightened the rope fiercely. However, to his surprise, Jiang Chen didn't move at all and didn't struggle at all. This is not in line with common sense. Daong hurriedly reached out to touch the quilt, and his heart sank. It's a piece of wood. After Wang shouted, footsteps were heard outside the tent. The two men hurriedly ran out of the tent, but a shovel hit one of them on the back with a bang. Wang fell in the night, and Daong ran desperately into the desert. Jiang Chen followed closely, waving the shovel in his hand. In the desert, although Daong ran fast, Jiang Chen ran faster, and he ran as if he were walking on flat ground. I don't know what happened, but since drinking the water from Grandpa's gourd yesterday, Jiang Chen obviously felt that he was much more agile. Where are you going? After Jiang Chen caught up with Daong, Daong's eyes were white with anxiety. Don't chase me, I tell you, if you chase me again, I'll kill you. Daong shouted at Jiang Chen while running. Jiang Chen waved the shovel in his hand and hit him on the back with a bang. Daong flew forward and fell on his face. When he got up from the ground, Jiang Chen's shovel was already aimed at his head. Move again, I'll shovel your head off. After Jiang Chen threatened, Daong held his head and dared not move. Go back. Jiang Chen said, holding the shovel and letting Daong get up. Daong just got up and turned around and ran. Jiang Chen waved the shovel in his hand and hit him on the leg with a bang. Daong screamed and rolled down the sand dune. 10 minutes later, Jiang Chen dragged Daong back to the tent by his legs like a dead dog. Wang hadn't woken up yet, so Jiang Chen tied the two men to the apricot tree with a rope. He scooped up a bucket of groundwater and splashed it on Wang to wake him up. Let me go, damn it, let me go. Wang opened his eyes and started cursing at Jiang Chen. Jiang Chen knew that it was these two people who set fire to his thatched cottage yesterday. So he had already calculated that these two people would come to harm him tonight. Say it again. Jiang Chen took the scoop and slammed it on Wang's mouth. I tell you, you can't beat us. You can't beat so many of us alone. After a few scoops, Wang became obedient. Who sent you here? Jiang Chen picked up a bunch of dry branches from the orchard. No one sent us here, I just can't stand you. Wang said, and spit at Jiang Chen. Jiang Chen didn't say anything, he put the dry branches one by one at Wang's feet. Jiang Chen took out a lighter after filling the place with branches. What are you doing? What are you doing? I tell you, killing is against the law. Although Wang was cruel, he was not stupid. You also know that killing is against the law. Why didn't you think about this when you killed my grandfather? After Jiang Chen finished speaking, Wang and Daong hurriedly shook their heads. It wasn't me. After the two shouted in unison, Jiang Chen knew that the two would not easily admit it. Then only one of you can live today. Whoever tells the truth first will live. Whoever doesn't tell the truth will die. After Jiang Chen finished speaking, he tied Hideon with a rope and dragged him to the back of the hill. He tied Hideon to a peach tree like a dead dog. Will you tell me or not? Did you set fire to my grandfather's house? After Jiang Chen yelled, Hideon struggled while pulling the rope. It's not me. I tell you, I won't give in. If you have the guts, just kill me. Hideon didn't believe Jiang Chen would kill him. After all, he was just a dead man. Jiang Chen was a scholar, and scholars cherish their lives the most. Jiang Chen said nothing, turned around and left the sand dune. Walking back to the tent, Ada Wang, who was tied to the apple tree, thought Jiang Chen would hit him. But Jiang Chen didn't. He walked over and put some oil on the firewood, then took out a lighter and was about to light it. Don't light it, don't light it. You haven't fucking asked yet, you haven't fucking asked yet. He has already confessed. I said only one of you can survive. Blame it on you for not saying it earlier. Jiang Chen said and lit the lighter with a snap. At the moment when Jiang Chen was about to light the wood, he was about to be burned to death, and Ida's wife started cursing. Okay, you Hideon. You betrayed me. If you want me dead, you can't live. Jiang Chen, I admit that I ordered your grandfather's house. But, your house was ordered by Hideon last night. After Ida's wife finished shouting, Hideon behind the sand dune was stunned. Damn, Ida's Wang, you son of a bitch, you're stupid. He lied to you for a few words, and you confessed. After Hideon finished scolding, Jiang Chen pulled out a knife and walked straight to the sand dune. Under the moonlight, the orchard was shadowy. Ida's wife heard Hideon's screams, and he also heard the sound of the knife piercing his stomach. He was shocked. When Jiang Chen slowly walked from behind the sand dune, under the silver moonlight, Ida's wife saw him covered in blood. Damn, I hate people who lie the most. Don't kill me, I didn't lie. Really, I didn't lie. Ida's wife was terrified. He had never been so anxious as today. Chapter 5. Are you bullying me because I have no one to rely on? Ida's Wang is a tough guy, but he becomes weak when he meets someone tougher than him. Jiang Chen took a knife and stabbed it into the wood under Ida's Wang. A stream of urine flowed down the apricot tree. Who told you to kill my grandfather? I'll only ask once. If you tell a lie, you'll die. Jiang Chen gritted his teeth and finished speaking, and Ida's wife saw his ferocious face. I said, can you spare me? 3, 2, it was Zhang Danu. He gave me 30,000 yuan and asked me to burn down your grandfather's thatched house. Who told you to kill me? Jiang Chen asked again, and Ida's wife responded again. It was still him. He gave us 50,000 yuan. The money hasn't been spent yet, it's on my motorcycle. After Ida's wife finished speaking, Jiang Chen untied the rope for him. You can go. After Jiang Chen finished speaking, Ida's wife was dumbfounded. Let me go now. I didn't expect this guy to be a coward. If I didn't see that he had a knife in his hand, I would have stabbed him to death now. Ida's wife ran down the mountain with joy. The stars in the sky were getting dim, and the night was about to end. Jiang Chen walked to the sand dune and pulled the sock out of Hideon's mouth. Ooze, in just a moment, Hideon vomit all over the floor. Why? Why don't you kill me? Hideon looked at Jiang Chen with horror, and Jiang Chen reached out and cut the rope behind him. I'll make a bet with you, Ida's Wang will die, do you believe it? After Jiang Chen finished speaking, Hideon shook his head. As long as Jiang Chen didn't kill Ida's Wang wouldn't die. I don't believe it. Then you wait and see. Zhang Danu wanted to kill someone with a borrowed knife, and Jiang Chen would not be fooled. The sky was getting brighter, and Jiang Chen picked up the spoon and scooped up water to water the orchard. Aren't you afraid that I will kill you? Hideon tried it, and Jiang Chen didn't seem to be afraid. You can't kill me, you're just a little chicken in front of me. But I advise you not to go down the mountain, you will only die if you go down the mountain. Jiang Chen finished speaking, and the sturdy Hideon was confused. If I go down the mountain, it's you who will die. Jiang Chen ignored him, he was just a kid, he just watered the trees. No matter what, he had to let his grandfather's fruit tree survive first. Hideon did not run away. After dawn, he was just about to go down the mountain, and suddenly heard shouting from the bottom of the mountain. Murder, murder. Ida's wife was killed. Someone shouted at the bottom of the mountain, and Hideon hurriedly hid in the pile of rocks. A group of people soon ran down the mountain, and soon Zhang Danu and the accountant and others also came. Too bold. Since you dare to kill people in Delane village, is there still any law? Zhang Danu cursed and looked at an orchard in that desert. Who did this? After the accountant finished speaking, a group of people looked at Ida's wife who fell in the rubble. At this moment, Ida's wife was stabbed several times and a rope was tied around his neck. He died in a miserable way, with his eyes wide open as if he had never closed his eyes until his death. Who else could it be? Who else could it be besides Jiang Chen? After John Datu roared, the Sati family was instantly filled with anger. Why? Why did you harm my child? An old man said, picking up a stone from the ground. He was going to the orchard to beat Jiang Chen to death. No, Jiang Chen is also a scholar. Why does he want to kill Wang? After Tang Yanqi's father Tang Yongjun finished speaking, the village chief cursed. Do you need to think about this? That little bastard must have thought that Wang set fire to his grandfather. I tell you, there is no such vicious person in our village. Old Manny, go up the mountain and take a look. Maybe your eldest son Taeyang was also killed by him. After John Datu finished speaking, Old Manny picked up a stone and rushed to the desert in the distance. In the desert, Taeyang squatted behind the stone with sweat all over his head and dared not say a word. His brother is dead. But he clearly saw his brother going down the mountain yesterday. And Jiang Chen had been watering the trees right under his nose. Who killed his brother? Also, the village chief just said that he was also killed. Who told him? Dad, Taeyang was about to call his father when a pair of hands covered his mouth. Don't say anything if you don't want to die. Taeyang turned around and saw Jiang Chen covered in mud. He remembered Jiang Chen's words that if you go down the mountain, you will die. Chen, you didn't kill my brother, how could he die after going down the mountain? Taeyang was horrified. Jiang Chen seemed to have guessed everything. He and his brother were like chess pieces, being played around by the village chief and Jiang Chen. Hide, you will know the truth. No, I must tell them the truth. Your grandfather was burned to death by my brother, but it was all John Datu's orders. Taeyang was about to stand up after shouting, and Jiang Chen smiled. Who would believe what you said? Who in this world would believe the words of a scoundrel? If you don't want to die, go to the orchard. I'll let you see the real murderer. After Jiang Chen finished speaking, Taeyang looked at the village chief in the distance and then at the young man in front of him. He was a bad guy, but he knew that the village chief was worse than him. Without the slightest hesitation, Taeyang ran into the woods. In the orchard, Jiang Chen took a watering can and continued to water the peach trees. When Taeyang's father saw Jiang Chen, he took a stone and threw it at his head without saying a word. Jiang Chen dodged, then kicked Wang's father to the ground. I'll kill you. Wang's father got up and wanted to hit Jiang Chen again, but Jiang Chen went up and wrestled with him. In less than a few minutes, more than a dozen people from the He family rushed to Jiang Chen's orchard. They rushed over with iron bars, ropes, and stones and beat Jiang Chen. Jiang Chen was alone and helpless. He was a person of an outsider family, and no one helped him. Beat you to death, you son of a bitch, you are a rebellious person, and you dare to kill our He family. Don't talk nonsense with him, kill him. After a group of people shouted, they attacked Jiang Chen. In the distance, John Datu showed a smile. The old ones are still the best. If you fight with me, I will kill you in a minute. John Datu snorted coldly, and Jiang Chen clenched his fists. I don't know where I offended you. Just because your grandson burned my grandfather to death, do I have to be beaten to death by you? Jiang Chen roared, and several people hesitated for a moment. Stop talking nonsense, I have disliked you for a long time. That's right. What's wrong with beating your grandfather to death? If it weren't for you two son of a bitch, we would have opened a mine long ago. After a young man finished speaking, Jiang Chen stared at him with a pair of red eyes. Say it to me again. You, how about beating your grandfather to death? Before the young man finished speaking, Jiang Chen rushed over and grabbed his neck directly. When my grandfather was alive, you could bully him, scold him, beat him and humiliate him. But my grandfather is gone now, and if anyone dares to say a word against him again, I will kill him. Jiang Chen pointed at a group of people holding shovels and yelled, and the He family members looked at each other. They all knew who their descendants Taeyang and Wang were. Now, for these two people who stole chickens and knocked on the widow's door, they came to beat up a college student. Will they really not be scolded later? Chapter 6 Who killed Wang? You must pay with your life if you kill someone. Wang's father shouted, picked up a hoe and chopped towards Jiang Chen's head. Jiang Chen grabbed the hoe and kicked him in the stomach. The 50-year-old man flew far away holding his stomach. You said I'd killed Wang. What evidence do you have? If you don't have evidence today, I will kill you. Jiang Chen rushed over and grabbed Wang's father's hair and slammed him into the sand. Tang Yongjun ran out of the crowd and grabbed Jiang Chen's arm. Chen, stop it, if you hit him again, he'll die. After Tang Yongjun shouted, several villagers went up and pulled Wang's father out of the sand. Several other people from the He family wanted to fight, but Uncle Shuinia went up to stop them. Don't hit him, talk it over, he's still a child. Uncle Schwinnew, don't stop him. Come on, come on. Everyone has one life, who's afraid of you? If you come to hit me today, either I die or you die lying down. Jiang Chen shouted and punched the middle-aged man again. Several members of the He family were stunned by the beating. They wanted to fight, but were stopped by Tang Yongjun in the name of persuading them to stop fighting. The sound of police sirens came from the bottom of the mountain, and soon several comrades got off the car. These were people inspecting the gold mine. Seeing someone fighting, they hurriedly pulled out their guns. Stop it, a 50-year-old policeman said, and several members of the He family who were holding shovels dropped their hoes. Who called the police? A young policeman said and looked at the crowd. I called the police. Tang Yongjun, who was in his 50s, said and stood up. Comrade, he killed someone. Seeing the police come in, Wang's father hurried over. Murder. He killed my son. After Baiya shouted, several policemen saw Wang in the rubble. Wang died tragically. His eyes were strangled and he must have been in great pain before he died. Who killed someone? The old policeman shouted and pointed his gun at the crowd vigilantly. It was him. Baiya pointed at Jiang Chen. Jiang Chen's future father-in-law Tang Yongjun brushed off the dirt on his body and came over. Nonsense, what evidence do you have? After Tang Yongjun finished speaking, the captain looked at Baiya. Yes, what evidence do you have that he murdered him? After the captain finished speaking, Baiya was stunned when he mentioned the evidence. I have no evidence, it was all the village chief who said so. After Baiya finished speaking, a group of people looked at John Dadu. John Dadu was also stunned. The script didn't seem to go as he designed. How do you know he murdered him? Did you see it? The captain pointed his gun at John Dadu, and John Dadu put out his cigarette. Damn, the man hasn't been beaten to death yet, who called the police? Damn, it's Tangle again, next time I must not let him go. Who else except him? Where's the evidence? You're the village chief and you can't slander people. After Tang Yongjun finished speaking, John Dadu was about to make up a story, but someone interrupted him. He didn't kill the man. Just as John Dadu was trying to find a new excuse, Daeon walked out of the orchard. Seeing that Daeon was not dead, the He family was stunned. Daeon, you are not dead. What happened? Who killed your brother? After Baiya shouted, Daeon pointed his finger at John Dadu. It was him. After Daeon finished speaking, John Dadu became anxious. You're talking nonsense. Wang said that Daeon was clearly killed by Jiang Chen. John Dadu was anxious and blurted out all the words without choosing the right time. In just a moment, Daeon rushed over and knocked John Dadu down with a punch. You son of a bitch. My brother helped you burn Jiang Xiaobian to death, and you killed my brother. After Daeon shouted, a group of villagers gasped. What? You burned Xiaobian to death? Dadu, how could you? After a group of villagers finished shouting, two policemen went up and handcuffed John Dadu. It wasn't me, I didn't kill anyone. I didn't kill anyone. He killed him, Wang burned his grandfather to death. He killed Wang out of hatred. Otherwise, how could Wang's body appear next to his orchard? John Dadu shouted and struggled. You lied. After my brother went down the mountain yesterday, Jiang Chen has been with me. It must be you, you son of a bitch. After Daeon shouted, the captain looked at Jiang Chen. If you didn't kill him, how could he appear at the edge of your desert? After the captain finished speaking, Jiang Chen smiled. Do you know what frame up is? Think about it, if you killed someone, would you leave the body at your doorstep? After Jiang Chen finished speaking, the captain shook his head. Indeed, only a fool would kill someone and leave the body at his doorstep. If I killed him, how could I have thrown him next to my orchard? Jiang Chen finished speaking, John Dadu was still there to defend himself. Don't listen to his nonsense. He is a college student, he is very smart. The more impossible the thing is, the more likely he will do it. John Dadu finished speaking, and soon the criminal police team arrived. Several officers of the criminal police team got off a large car. These were the people who were armed with guns to protect the gold mine. Where is the scene? A young police officer finished speaking, and Jiang Chen suddenly recognized him. Nobita. Jiang Chen tried to call out. The young man was stunned, and he looked at Jiang Chen. At this moment, Jiang Chen was wearing dirty clothes, with a beard and dark skin. This was the dress of a farmer. Who are you? I am Jiang Chen. Jiang Chen shouted, and the criminal police was stunned. In his memory, Jiang Chen was a talented man with high spirits. There were so many people in their class at the beginning, but only Jiang Chen was admitted to Shaijin. It's you. How did you become like this? I won't tell you now, I'll handle the case first. When I leave later, you come with me to the city, wash yourself, and we'll have a good reunion. Chu Shixin said and started to handle the case again. Zhang Datu was also stunned when he saw that the person who came was Jiang Chen's classmate. This matter is very tricky, he had a hunch that he was going to be in trouble. What happened? Who can tell me? Chu Shixin looked at a few people, and the captain of the police station pointed to the body on the ground and said, "The deceased is called He Wang. I just took a look, and the time of death was almost last night. Today, someone from the He family came to beat your classmate, and he said that your classmate killed his son. I just asked, and your classmate seems to be a suspect." After the captain said this, Chu Shixin became nervous instantly. "Old classmate, what are you doing? It's not me, I have evidence." Jiang Chen said and looked at He Taeyong. "It wasn't him, I'm a witness." "Then it wasn't the village chief who did it either. He's the only one in the village who has a grudge against He Wang. I can prove it." The accountant over there also stood up, and Jiang Chen smiled. "Since you all say that I killed the man, it's just words without evidence, so I can only prove it to you. I have evidence, Accountant Lee, you're thinking about harming me every day, and my grandfather promoted you. You've been with my grandfather for so many years, as my grandfather taught you to do bad things." After Jiang Chen finished speaking, the accountant lit a cigarette. "Although I did it with your grandfather before, I can't tell a lie. I can prove that the village chief was drinking with me yesterday, and he couldn't have killed anyone. On the contrary, it's you, because you refused to give up the contract rights for the desert, the mining business in the village can't continue. The common people have no place to work, and they have to suffer poverty here all their lives. So it's normal for the common people to want to kill you." Chapter 7 Compassion be used to make a living. Jiang Chen said as he looked at the accountant who lied all the time. As expected, he didn't even seize the last chance. "Classmate, what you did was not fair. I tell you, although we are classmates, I will not cover up for you in this murder." After Chu Shixin finished speaking, the villagers in the village were provoked. "Officer, he killed the person. This man is very bad. Just for his family's 100-acre orchard, he even ignored the interests of our entire village. Don't pretend to be noble. You don't want to give up the contracting rights because you want more money. That's right, you're still a college student, selfish. What kind of college student are you? That's right, you don't want to move away, we all want to move away." After a group of the family members finished accusing each other, Zhang Datu smiled. No matter whether Jiang Chen did it today, as long as the He family members think it was Jiang Chen who did it, it's fine. At that time, he will let Mr. Zhao from Pengying Mining go to the county to make arrangements for the development of the county's economy, in order to put the mine into production as soon as possible. Even if Jiang Chen didn't do this, he was the one who did it in the end. Fellow villagers, don't forget your roots. If you move away, where can you move to? If you don't defend the desert, what's the use of moving to the county, the province, or the capital? The desert will chase you to the ends of the earth." After Jiang Chen finished shouting, Zhang Datu sneered. "Don't preach to us here. You killed someone, you have to pay with your life. Let him die. We don't welcome him in Delane village." After Accountant Lee shouted, the He family was boiling. "You are not worthy of being a member of Delane village. You're a bastard. Yes, he is a wild seed that no one wants, a bastard that was picked up. You are not worthy of teaching people in Delane village, you bastard. Don't think you can preach after studying for a few more years, you son of a bitch. Get out of Delane village, you murderer." After a group of people shouted, several people went up to beat Jiang Chen. Zhang Datu next to him also instigated. "He is here to harm our villagers. Because of him, all the people in Delane village can't get a chance to mine. Just because Wang doesn't obey him, he wants to kill Wang. Wang died for you. He is a hero, can you watch the murderer get away with it?" After Zhang Datu finished speaking, as expected, several people in the village who had a good relationship with He Wang went up and beat Jiang Chen. Bang! Chu Shixin pulled out his gun and fired a shot into the sky. Soon the commotion of the He family quieted down. "Don't let the trouble." Chu Shixin looked at Zhang Datu and finished speaking. Zhang Datu also snorted coldly. "Don't think about shielding your classmate. I tell you, the people of our Delane village will not agree." After Zhang Datu finished shouting, Chu Shixin pointed at him and shouted, "If you talk nonsense to me again, I will arrest you immediately. You try to arrest me. Let me tell you, you can't grasp the depth of the water in Delane village." Just now, Zhang Datu had sent a text message to Boss Zhao. At this moment, Boss Zhao has taken the money to the relevant departments. For a national-level poverty-stricken county, a place with no industry, John Datu didn't believe that they would give up the entire mine for an ordinary person. Daxiang, don't be afraid, let justice speak. He couldn't have killed He Wang at the bottom of the hill. So, there must be blood on the ground. Jiang Chen finished speaking, and everyone hurriedly looked at the ground. Sure enough, everyone saw a few drops of blood on the road leading to the village. The blood also had traces of being wiped away in a hurry. See how you explain it. Chu Shixin finished speaking and led people to the village along the blood trail. Seeing that the matter was about to be exposed, John Datu was frightened. It was urgent in the middle of the night, who could pay attention to every detail? Think of a solution quickly. John Datu whispered to the accountant, and the accountant hurriedly made a phone call. A group of people followed Chu Shixin down the mountain, and soon the blood trail led to the main road in the village. And the end of this main road happened to be John Datu's home. Who did you kill that kid? He Biao asked, and John Diao cursed. Which of your dog guys saw me kill someone? Then why is there this blood stain? He Biao didn't finish his words, and suddenly there was a rumbling sound of bulldozers at the entrance of the village. 2 bulldozers were in a row, pushing directly from the entrance of the village to the back mountain. Fuck, what are you doing? Chu Shixin shouted and rushed over. But the excavator was moving very fast, and before Chu Shixin ran to the place, half of the road was pushed away by the bulldozer. Now there was no hope to find bloodstains and drag marks. Get down, who told you to push the road? Chu Shixin stopped the bulldozer, and the bulldozer turned off. Boss Zhao told us to push, he wants to build a road for the village. What's wrong? Building a road for you is so troublesome. The bulldozer driver with dyed yellow hair finished speaking, and Zhang Diao wiped the sweat from his forehead. Boss Zhao is still reliable. Damn it, why did you repair it now instead of earlier or later? Who are you trying to fool? After Tang Yongjun finished speaking, a BMW car came up behind the bulldozer. A man got out of the BMW car, wearing a leather jacket and combing his hair back. I will build a road for the village for free. Do you have any objections? Village Chief John, are you going to build your house? If you want to build it, I will demolish it and build it for you today. After Boss Zhao finished speaking, John Datu hurriedly nodded. Build it, if you are free today, demolish it for me. Then why are you still standing there? I will demolish it for you and build it for you in half a month. After Boss Zhao finished speaking, he waved his hand and a bulldozer demolished the door and kitchen of John Datu's house with a bang. A cloud of dust flew up, and soon all the evidence disappeared in the flying dust. If you destroy the evidence, be careful of me. Before Chu Shixin finished speaking, Boss Zhao pointed at his mobile phone. Sure enough, Chu Shixin's mobile phone rang. You don't have to take responsibility for this case. Leave it to me. You can go back to your team. After the person on the other end of the phone finished speaking, Boss Zhao came over. Young man, you are still too young. Enthusiasm can't be used to make a living, but money can. After Boss Zhao finished speaking, he took out a cigar from his pocket, and John Datu hurried over to light it for him. You must be Jiang Chen, you don't want to drink toasts, but you'd prefer to drink penalty wine. Penalty wine doesn't taste good, right? Sign it quickly and get out. You can't fight me. After Boss Zhao finished speaking, he threw a document on Jiang Chen. Jiang Chen didn't reach out to pick up the document on the ground. He knew that these people were not easy to deal with, and he never pinned his hopes on a single person. Really? How do you know you can't win if you don't fight? For a human being, the worst that can happen is death. I don't even have a relative anymore, so I'm not afraid of death. But I want to tell you, if I say you can't move the desert, you will never be able to move. Unless you step over my dead body. After Jiang Chen finished speaking, Boss Zhao sneered, you've got the guts to talk tough with a cooked duck. This desert is really not something that people like you can decide. Also, today's matter cannot be settled, and I will hold each and every one of you accountable. After Boss Zhao finished speaking, he looked at the villagers with a pair of sharp eyes, and the villagers lowered their heads one by one. If you're listening to this novel on a channel other than Fanfic World, it means they downloaded and uploaded it without effort. We cordially invite you to visit our channel, Mundo Fanfic Novelas. There you'll find the original version of this story and you can explore many other novels of various genres. We're waiting for you to immerse yourself in a world of incredible novels. Chapter 8. Suing the Tumbler. In Delane Village, Boss Zhao pushed John Datu's house, and all the clues were cut off. Without any clues, and his old classmate Chu Shixin was transferred again, so this matter seemed very hopeless. Old classmate, it seems that I can't help with this matter. But you have to believe that the innocent will be innocent, and the turbid will be turbid. If this matter is not done by you, God will not let them go. Chu Shixin said that he could only withdraw his team helplessly. Don't worry, the innocent will be innocent, and the turbid will be turbid. How rampant they are today, how miserable they will be tomorrow. Jiang Chen is the backup plan. He is not afraid. At worst, both sides will die. After Jiang Chen finished speaking, Captain Liang, who took over the case, came soon. Catch him. Captain Liang came and handcuffed Jiang Chen without saying a word. Seeing Jiang Chen being handcuffed, Tang Yongjun was anxious. When Jiang Xiaobian died, he told him that even if he died, he had to protect the children of Mixi Town. Thinking of this, Tang Yongjun, who was wrinkled and thin, grabbed Captain Liang's arm and said, "Leader, you arrested the wrong person. He is just a kid, how dare he kill someone?" The villagers were also puzzled. The evidence pointed to the village chief, so why did they arrest the kid? Captain Liang saw that everyone was in a bad mood, so he shouted to everyone, "Fellow villagers, we didn't arrest the wrong person." Jiang Chen had the motive for committing the crime, and the incident happened next to his orchard. We can conclude that this is what Jiang Chen did to retaliate against his wife for burning his grandfather to death. In addition, we will not wrongly accuse him. He is just a suspect now. We will take him back for investigation. If it is really not him, he will be released tonight. Captain Liang did not give Jiang Chen any chance to explain. After speaking, he took Jiang Chen and the village chief and others away. At night, a BMW drove into the village, and Boss Zhao sent Zhang Datu back. On the night of his return, Zhang Datu smashed Tang Yongjun's house. It was late at night, in the detention center. The door opened, and the young Chu Zixin changed into casual clothes and appeared in front of Jiang Chen. "Alas, I have no choice. I begged for you everywhere, but it didn't work. Old classmate, listen to my advice and hand over the desert over there. You can't open a gold mine by yourself. If you open a mine in that desert, it can pay tens of millions of taxes to the county in a year. Do you know what tens of millions of taxes mean?" Chu Shixin finished speaking, and Jiang Chen smiled and nodded. Jiang Chen vows for a national-level impoverished county, tens of millions of taxes may be all the income of the county. So no one will protect him because he has violated the interests of too many people. I knew you would come today. After Jiang Chen finished speaking, Chu Shixin's face became serious. Suddenly, he slapped the table and stood up. "Zhao Zhao, you only know how to laugh. You're in great trouble, don't you know? Tomorrow, the He family will sue you. The county said that special cases will be handled specially and the court will be held immediately. I tell you, if you don't hand over the desert, even guards can't save you." Chu Shixin said this with great resentment, and he wanted to grab Jiang Chen's neck and ask him to sign. He was annoyed by Jiang Chen's playful and smiling appearance, as if he had everything in his hands, but he had nothing. "Don't worry, I have a backup plan. I will not hand over the desert to them. I promised my grandfather to protect the desert in Delane village. If they open a mine in the desert, Delane village will become a desert in less than a year. And this is not what I want to see." After Jiang Chen finished speaking, Chu Shixin looked annoyed. His IQ was very high, otherwise he would not go to Beijing to study. If he can't deal with these hooligans, why would he stay? "Stop talking nonsense. I tell you, you have no chance of winning. The He family hired the best lawyer in the city. They are known as the Dragon City Tumbler and have never lost. What about you? You just graduated. Do you have money to hire a lawyer? Also, who in Dragon City County dares to go against Boss Zhao? Who dares to defend you? I tell you, you're a lunatic." Chu Shixin shouted. He didn't understand why Jiang Chen refused to give in. As long as Jiang Chen was willing to give in, he could go to Boss Zhao and there would be room for maneuver. Otherwise, once the murder was confirmed, Jiang Chen would at least be sentenced to life imprisonment. "Help me hire a lawyer. I can win this time." After Jiang Chen finished speaking, Chu Shixin knew that if he didn't help him, no one would really help him. "I have hired a lawyer for you, but he is not a good lawyer. Which lawyer is willing to take this case now?" "So it's a young man who just got a lawyer's license. I heard that you have no money to give, and I am willing to pay the lawyer's fee for you, just to gain experience." After Chu Shixin finished speaking, Jiang Chen looked at the time. It was getting late. "Okay, see you in court tomorrow. I owe you a favor today, and I'll pay you back later." Jiang Chen knew that there was no such thing as a free lawyer, and his old classmate just didn't want to make him sad. The next day, Jiang Chen was taken from the detention room to the court at dawn. The court was full of people, and the judge hadn't come yet, and a group of people were chatting animatedly. "How confident are you this time, Lawyer Li?" Boss Zhao, who was wearing a mint coat and had his hair combed back, looked at Lawyer Li Fai and said, while Li Fai asked his assistant to sort out the documents and closed his eyes, "I'm 100% confident, this is the simplest case I've ever taken. I'm embarrassed to accept you for 100,000 yuan. After Li Fai finished speaking, Boss Zhao and the village chief smiled. In order to find Li Fai to be their lawyer, they spent almost 100,000 yuan. This time they wanted to defeat Jiang Chen and clear the last obstacle to their mining. The court soon opened. When the judge banged the gavel, everyone stood up. After a group of people sat down, the judge indicated that the plaintiff's lawyer could make a statement on the spot. Li Fai stood up and bowed to the judge. He turned to look at Jiang Chen's defense lawyer. Li Fai, who was in his 40s, had a sharp gaze, a confident and arrogant face, and he looked at people with a sense of fear in their bones. At this moment, Jiang Chen's defense lawyer was just a student who looked like he had just graduated. Fortunately, the student also looked strong. After all, he did not intend to win. Dear Judge, the deceased accidentally set fire to the defendant's grandfather's house before his death, causing the defendant's grandfather to die in the fire. I deeply regret this. However, because of this act, the defendant brutally killed our plaintiff, and the evidence is conclusive, which is really heartbreaking. After Li Fai finished speaking, Jiang Chen's defense lawyer Zhu Ming also stood up. I object. Our client has witnesses who can prove that our client stayed in the orchard the whole night and did not go down the mountain. After Zhu Ming finished speaking, Li Fai walked up to him and sneered at him. You're too young. Don't ruin your future here. Judge, I asked the other party to produce a witness. After the judge allowed it, two bailiffs quickly brought in the witness He Daeyong. Zhu Ming nodded to He Daeyong, indicating that he could speak. That night, I was not with the defendant that night. They asked me to testify for the defendant because they promised to give me benefits. After He Daeyong finished speaking, Zhu Ming's head suddenly became big. This is not what He Daeyong told him when he was investigating in the village. Haha, this is your witness. You are still wet behind the ears. Don't take every case. I wonder how you can survive in Longchen County in the future. Li Fai finished speaking with a sneer and asked someone to present his evidence. These are the fingerprints we extracted from our client. This is a forensic report. This report details that our client was beaten to death by the defendant that night. Li Fai handed over an identification certificate. Seeing the certificate, Chu Shixin raised his head and covered his eyes with his hands. This time, everything was over. Chapter 9 Justice is never late. Does the defense have anything else to say? The judge looked at the young lawyer Zhu Ming, who looked at his materials and shook his head. Sure enough, the first lawsuit was lost more miserably than expected. Defendant, do you admit that you killed the deceased He Daeyong? The judge looked at Jiang Chen, who had a cold expression from beginning to end. No. Jiang Chen said calmly, and the village chief John Datu stood up. You murderer, do you think you can escape the punishment of the law by killing people? How could our Delane village produce a scum like you? Judge, it's all my fault that I, the village chief, am incompetent, which led to such a thing in our village. I request that he be sentenced to death. After John Datu shouted, a group of villagers in the audience were indignant. I didn't expect you to be such a person. He Daeyong was a bit of a jerk, but you can't kill him. Too bad, that's a young life. After the accusations of the crowd, in the face of the solid evidence, John Datu showed a satisfied smile on his face. Let's see what tricks you have this time. Haha, your lawyer has given up. John Datu finished speaking, and Jiang Chen suddenly looked up at John Datu. You said you were incompetent, I admit that. Not only are you incompetent, you are also extremely stupid. Judge, I have a USB drive here, please play it. After Jiang Chen finished speaking, Longchen Tumbler frowned and put down the documents in his hand. Aloud. After the judge finished speaking, John Datu became anxious. He looked at Mr. Zhao, the boss of the mine, and Mr. Zhao looked at Captain Liang in the distance. Captain Liang smiled and said, don't worry, he can't have anything on him. After Captain Liang finished speaking, Mr. Zhao and John Datu breathed a sigh of relief. Don't waste time. The judge just wants to delay time and life a little longer. John Datu finished speaking, and Jiang Chen sneered. I think you want to live a little longer. What nonsense are you talking about? If you have the guts, take out the USB flash drive. Let me see what you have. After John Datu finished scolding, the judge motioned Jiang Chen to show the USB flash drive, and Jiang Chen looked at the audience. The USB flash drive is here. In a corner, a skinny middle-aged man with a dark face stood up. It was none other than Tang Yongjun. Tang Yongjun said, holding the USB flash drive, and walked to the center of the court. Seeing Tang Yongjun bring the USB flash drive, John Datu was stunned. He was busy smashing Tang Yongjun's house last night, and he never expected that this guy would also come to the trial. Your Honor, I admit that I did have a fight with He Daeyong that day. But that was because He Daeyong and He Daeyong wanted to kill me in the orchard. Everyone will know the truth after watching this video. Jiang Chen finished speaking and looked at Daeyoung in the witness stand. Daeyoung looked uneasy. Daeyoung, I'll give you a chance. You are not doing your best. Jiang Chen said coldly, and the staff had already inserted the USB drive into the computer and turned it on. On a projector, everyone soon saw two sneaky figures going into the desert. Two people walked into the tent and tied a rope to a piece of wood. Then Jiang Chen knocked them to the ground, and the whole process was vivid. Seeing this, Daeyoung's legs trembled and his pants were wet. When he was in the village, Ross Zhao found him and said that he would give him 50,000 yuan to make false testimony. Now, the 50,000 yuan might not be spent. Well done, Daeyoung, you actually gave false testimony to avenge your brother. Judge, I request that this attempted murderer Daeyoung be arrested. Longchen Tumbler was also a little scared. He had been fighting lawsuits for half his life, but he had never lost. If he lost this time, his reputation would be ruined. After Longchen Tumbler finished speaking, Zhang Dahu in the audience was already sweating anxiously. Ross Zhao, think of a way quickly, this video can't be put down. After Zhang Dahu finished speaking, Ross Zhao was more anxious than him. Captain Liang, think of a way. Everyone knows what will happen if we continue to watch. Captain Liang thought for a while and glanced at the paralegal on the stage. The assistant walked to the computer with a teacup to see if the video was authentic. As he walked over, his foot suddenly slipped and he fell on the computer, breaking the USB drive. The video stopped. Sorry, I really didn't notice. After the assistant finished speaking, Chu Shixin patted the chair and stood up. You deliberately destroyed the evidence. What are you afraid of? This USB flash drive is not irrecoverable. Longchen Tumbler wiped the sweat from his head. It was really too close. Zhang Dahu, who was about to wet his pants, also deflated instantly. As long as the video can't be played and taken back for repair, they will have the opportunity to tamper with it, and then they will be safe. And they can also be sure that this is definitely a unique copy, because after Jiang Chen was arrested, he didn't have time to get the USB flash drive. The evidence is damaged, and the trial will be retried after it is repaired. Now I declare, the judge was about to announce the adjournment, and when a group of people were relieved, Jiang Chen smiled again. He knew this was Longchen County, how could he not expect these things? Dear Judge, there is no need to adjourn the court. Everyone turn on your mobile phone and check. I have asked someone to upload it to the internet. After Jiang Chen finished speaking, in just a moment, Zhang Dahu's urine sprayed it on the attention seat. Fuck, you're a piece of shit. Ross Zhao cursed, and the assistant over there had already clicked on the video on the internet. This video has become a hot search. The video continued to play, and the originally relaxed judge's face gradually frowned. He was no longer in the mood to watch it. He was thinking about the impact behind this matter. Most people in the county support mining, otherwise, they would not be so eager to try it today. Look, the real murderer is here. Just as the judge was thinking, Jiang Chen shouted. The judge looked up and saw that at this moment, under the bright moonlight, Zhang Dahu and a man with a big back hair were carrying a person and appeared on the edge of the desert. The two threw the guy onto the pile of rocks and clapped their hands. The video shot very clearly, and soon everyone's eyes turned to Zhang Dahu. At this moment, the originally cop Ross Zhao had collapsed on the ground. He is a businessman, and he knows what it means once this matter becomes a hot search. This means that he can no longer operate it with money. It's over, it's completely over. Zhang Dahu's head was confused, and he was dizzy. Defense lawyer, do you have anything else to say? After watching the video, the judge looked at the Dragon City tumbler, who was now pale. I have nothing to say. He really regretted taking this case, which would definitely become a big stain on his life. Okay, then I will now pronounce the verdict that Jiang Chen is acquitted. In addition, this office will initiate criminal proceedings against Zhang Dahu and Zhao Song, and will retrial them on a later date. After the judge finished speaking, he knocked the hammer, and several bailiffs came over and took Ross Zhao and Zhang Dahu away. Great. Jiang Chen, I knew you could do it. Chu Shixin jumped up from the audience excitedly. As one of his best classmates, Jiang Chen was able to be acquitted, which was definitely the happiest thing for him in the past few years. I said that justice will never be late. The bailiff opened the handcuffs for Jiang Chen, and Tang Yanqi and Tang Yongjun also ran to the defendant's seat excitedly. Brother Jiang Chen, I didn't disappoint you. Tang Yanqi said with big eyes blinking, and Jiang Chen gave her a big hug. Let's go, don't say anything. This place isn't lucky. Let's go to the city for a good meal. I'll treat you today. Let's also thank Officer Chu. I feel so sorry for all the help he has given us. Tang Yongjun grinned. At this moment, he did not need Zhang Sao being down. He felt happy from the bottom of his heart. Chapter 10. A big storm is coming. There were very few customers at Lao King Noodle House in Longchen County. A strong wind in that distance blew away the plaster on the table. The boss was lying on a recliner, bored and reading a newspaper. Seeing a customer come in, he hurriedly got up and greeted him. "Boss, please come in." Several people walked into the room, and Tang Yongjun did not forget to complain. "Officer Chu, you are looking down on us farmers. Although we don't have much money, we can still afford a decent meal." Tang Yongjun took money out of his pocket after he finished speaking, but Chu Shixin refused. "Uncle Tang, don't underestimate this restaurant. This noodle shop can be said to be the most authentic in our entire Northwest. In Longchen County, we often come to this noodle shop to eat when entertaining VIPs." After Chu Shixin finished speaking, several people walked into the private room. Just as several people sat down, the door of the private room opened soon. A tall girl with a beautiful smile came out. She really had a beautiful smile. In just a moment, several people couldn't take their eyes off her face. "What do you want to eat? It's not dinner time yet, we can cook for you in advance." After the girl said that, Chu Shixin came back to his senses from her smile. "Bring up your best-selling set meal." After the dishes were ordered, Tang Yongjun specially opened a bottle of white wine. "Come on, everyone, have a drink first. In the future, Zhao Chen's crime will be cleared and the murderer who killed Zhao Chen's grandfather will be caught. This is a double happiness for us." Tang Yongjun poured 3 glasses of wine after he finished speaking. "Hey, don't be so happy so early. The challenge has just begun. I'll tell you the truth today. Although Boss Zhao and Zhang Dai were arrested today, this mine will most likely be opened." After Chu Shixin finished speaking, Tang Yongjun was stunned. "Why is it still open? There is nothing we can do. Our Longchen County is too poor. Our Longshan County does not have a large-scale enterprise, and we have to pay teachers' salaries and so many civil servants' salaries every year. There is no tax revenue and we have to pay money. There is a fiscal deficit every year. Now the county is trying to raise money every day. So Delane Village has a gold mine, which is the fastest way to make money. Because of your gold mine, the county has held countless meetings." Chu Shixin was telling the truth. As a national-level poverty-stricken county, the source of tax revenue has always troubled Longchen County. Now that a gold mine has been discovered in Longchen County, the county quickly split into 2 groups. One group pointed to the mining group headed by Zhang Qiang. They advocated opening a mine in Delane Village immediately, and then collecting money to pay everyone's salary. The other group was the deputy county magistrate who was brought in from other places. The deputy county magistrate's name is Zhu Bolian, who is a doctorate in environmental economics. He advocates building an ecological Longchen and making Longchen County a national frontier and fight against desertification. Mining means destroying the environment, and the environment on the edge of the desert is too fragile. Once mining is started, Longchen County will be submerged by the desert in less than a few years. Now the old secretary is old and will retire in 3 or 4 years. Therefore, who will lead the future of Longchen County next depends on Bolian and Wang Qiang. What if I don't sign? Jiang Chen took a sip of white wine, and the strong wine was so spicy that it made his throat smoke. They will think of all kinds of ways to make you sign. As long as you give up the right to contract the desert, they will start mining as soon as possible. As long as they start mining, they will at least miss tens of millions of taxes every year. As long as there's money, bonuses for civil servants in all departments can be issued. So it is possible that you will have many opponents, which will be very difficult." After Chu Shixin finished speaking, Jiang Chen smiled bitterly. Indeed, blocking someone's financial path is like killing their parents. What's more, he has blocked the financial path of so many people. How many years can the mine be opened? I won't give up the desert. It is right to build Delane Village into a frontier position to resist the desert in the northwest. Jiang Chen said and remembered his grandfather's words. It is because everyone has destroyed the environment that the desert has been created. It is because the desert has spread that the underworld is also flooded with deserts. If he can't stop the desert when he is alive, even if he becomes a ghost, he will have to live on the edge of the desert for generations. Alas, this is your own choice. Although this choice is right, it will be difficult. However, there is good news. I heard that the province is discussing the desert greening reward method. Once this proposal is passed, you will receive state subsidies for planting and greening in the desert. And I heard that this subsidy is very tempting, but I don't know when it will be passed. Time passed little by little. After eating noodles at noon, Jiang Chen and Tang Yongjun took a car back to the village. On the dirt road leading to the village, Jiang Chen had long forgotten Chu Shixin's words. He looked up at the sky. He only remembered that the bowl of noodles he had at noon was really delicious. In the evening, just as the tricycle arrived at the village, Tang Yongjun suddenly saw a black cloud rising in the western sky. His heart sank. He knew what the black cloud in the evening meant. Fellow villagers, a sandstorm is coming. Hurry up and put down your things and go to the fields. Tang Yongjun shouted and jumped off the car. Yongjun, there is no sandstorm. Look how nice the weather is, and there's a sunset. That's right, you desert people are just timid and afraid of things. Old Tang, your future son-in-law has been released, aren't you going to treat us to a meal to celebrate? Forget it, desert people are so stingy, fellow villagers, go home. At the entrance of the village, an old man who was waiting to watch the excitement said, and soon a group of villagers went home. A real sandstorm has come in, everyone hurry up to cover the crops. Tang Yongjun shouted everywhere, and when the villagers wanted to leave, he grabbed everyone's clothes. Really, it's a big storm. It was like this when Xi Town was flooded. Are you crazy? I think you are so happy that you are stupid. There has never been a big storm in Delane village. Look how cool this wind is. After Jingu finished speaking, Jiang Chen raised his hand, and a cool breeze blew from the desert. Oh, I don't care about you. If you don't cover the crops, you will have nothing when a strong wind comes. Tang Yongjun shouted and rode his electric car and ran towards home. When they got home, they saw more and more clouds in the west from a distance. Jiang, come on, come with me to cover the fruit trees. Tang Yongjun's face was serious. His originally honest face had never been so panicked. Rushing to the orchard, Jiang Chen picked up the cloth and wrapped it around the tree. Just as the two of them covered more than a dozen trees, suddenly more and more dark clouds appeared in the west, and the sky suddenly darkened. The wind blew, making the fruit trees sway, and some short fruit trees were directly broken by the wind. No, the wind is blowing, hurry up and go to the village to call him. If we don't cover the wheat, the wind will blow and all the wheat will be gone. Without wheat, people will starve to death. After Tang Yongjun shouted, Jiang Chen knew that he ran slowly, so he volunteered to run towards the village. When he ran back to the village, the villagers had already vaguely felt that something was wrong. Run, the wind and Santa come in, go home and hide. After he shouted to everyone, Jiang Chen went up and grabbed him. Uncle Shwinyu, go to the field and cover the wheat. After Jiang Chen shouted, Shwinyu slapped his thigh and said, how could I forget about the wheat? After saying that, Uncle Shwinyu hurried home and ran towards the field with a plastic bag. Second uncle, hurry up to the field. Brother Zhang, hurry up to the field. Jiang Chen shouted from house to house. Soon more and more people rushed out of the yard, riding battery bikes and pulling various equipment to run towards the fields. Jiang Chen walked against the crowd until he was next to his home. The yard had already burned down. Jiang Chen looked up at the village chief's house. The door was open. Although he hated it, he could only put aside his personal grudges in the face of disaster. And Xiehua, go quickly. Chapter 11 The story of Xi Town. At the village chief's house, Jiang Chen heard crying in the house before he finished shouting. He walked into the house. The small Western-style building looked magnificent on the outside, but it was actually shabby inside. An old man who kept coughing was lying on a broken bed, and a woman was kneeling in front of the old man. There were two children beside the woman crying. Mom, don't commit suicide. Although Diehu was in prison, don't you still have me? If you die and Diehu was released, what should I say to him? The woman cried hysterically, and the old man coughing on the bed had a head full of silver hair. Xiehua, Baba can't drag you down any longer. Diehu is in jail, and Jacques Sang will go to college this year. If you give the mission to me, an old woman, for medical treatment, you might as well kill me and let me feel better. After the silver-haired old man finished speaking, the thin boy of 17 or 18 years old threw himself on the bed and cried loudly, Grandpa, I won't let you die. At worst, I can't go to college. I can go out to work and earn money to pay for your medical treatment. After the child finished speaking, a little girl who was a few years younger than him also covered her eyes and cried, Grandpa, you have brought us up since we were young. Even if I have to sell blood, I won't let you die. Looking at her grandchildren, the old woman turned her face away and let her tears wet the thin quilt. Jiang Chen walked out of the room. He was a little dazed. He didn't know what he had done. Did he win by defeating Zhang Dahu? If in order to win, he made an old man without money to see a doctor and a pair of children without school, what was the meaning of his victory? Leaving Zhang Dahu's house, Jiang Chen saw the old accountant not far away. At this moment, the door of the accountant's house was closed. The sky was getting darker and darker. A gust of wind blew and the trees in the village bent down. Jiang Chen woke up again. He ran to the door of the accountant's house and banged on it. After a while, the door opened and a little girl appeared in the door. The little girl was a little terrified. "Brother Jiang Chen, don't hit me." The little girl was only 3 or 4 years old. Seeing Jiang Chen come in, she was so scared that she quickly stepped back. "And now, who's here?" An old woman's voice sounded in the room, and soon, a shabby wheelchair was pushed out. "Andy, go cover the ground quickly, the storm is coming." Jiang Chen shouted, and the old lady saw that it was Jiang Chen who came, and she couldn't help but lower her head. "Jiang Chen, we were wrong, don't hit Day now, she is just a child." After the old lady finished speaking, she pushed the wheelchair to pull the little girl. Jiang Chen looked anxious. "I won't beat her. Everyone should take responsibility for their own actions. The accountant has been put in jail. It has nothing to do with you. Andy, if you don't cover the wheat, the sand will bury the wheat seedlings. What will we eat this year?" After Jiang Chen shouted, the old lady's tears fell. "I can't cover it. Look, I can't walk. Your uncle has also been arrested. I don't know when he will be released." After the old lady finished speaking, Jiang Chen pointed at Dame Mao and said, "Where are her parents?" "Delane Village, because it is located in the northwest, there are not many job opportunities in both the county and the city. Everyone basically stays at home to farm. He died last year. There was a car accident." The man ran away. The old lady's eyes turned red again after she finished speaking. Jiang Chen didn't know how he walked out of the yard. The wind was blowing in the village, and Jiang Chen walked alone in the yard in desolation. If Accountant Lee didn't come back, Dame Mao might not survive this winter. Hey, are they really bad people? When Grandpa was still alive, he was the village chief. Accountant Lee followed Grandpa as an accountant, and John Dottie worked as Grandpa's assistant. Grandpa had a high opinion of both of them, but he didn't know why they had fallen out with Grandpa. Now that he thought about it, Grandpa was right. He didn't blame John Dottie, he just hated that the village was too poor. If the mine was opened, Mao and the others would be able to survive. Jiang Chen muttered to himself, and Uncle Zushang grabbed him. "What are you still standing there for? Go and cover your fruit trees." Jiang Chen didn't know how he got to the orchard, he only remembered that the wind and sand were getting stronger and stronger. The world was getting darker and darker, and the strong wind carried the wind and sand and enveloped the sky and the earth, swallowing everything in an instant. "Run, hurry back to the village. Damn, Delane Village has never had such a strong wind and sand." Uncle Schwinatu, who had finished covering the wheat field in the distance, shouted and ran back to the village on his electric bike. The strong wind blew and the wind and sand in the orchard had gradually submerged his caps. Tam Yongjun covered the fruit trees one by one with a cloth. Finally, the sky and the earth were dark, and the wind made it impossible for people to open their eyes or breathe. Tam Yongjun wanted to run to the village, but he could not find the way back. "Zhuochen, Zhuochen." Tam Yongjun called Jiang Chen in the desert, and Jiang Chen came to him in the wind and sand. "Uncle Tang, follow me to the pavilion." The two held hands and pulled the bent fruit trees one by one, walking towards the depths of the orchard. A dilapidated pavilion appeared in front of the two in the depths of the orchard. After entering the pavilion, the two leaned against the pillars and gasped. "Fortunately there's a pavilion, otherwise we would have died in the wind and sand." Looking at the yellow sand rushing in the distance, Tam Yongjun was still frightened. Looking at Delane Village shrouded by the desert, Jiang Chen also had mixed feelings. "Uncle Tang, do you think I did the right thing? If the village chief had listened to the mining, would the people really not have to suffer?" Facing the wind, Jiang Chen looked at Tam Yongjun. Tam Yongjun took out a pack of wrinkled cigarettes from his pocket, took out a stick of incense and lit it, but the wind was too strong and the lighter was broken just after it was put out. Tam Yongjun threw away the cigarette and looked into the depths of the desert. He remembered a scene more than 20 years ago. More than 20 years ago, it was also a day like this. That day a huge sandstorm attacked Nxi Town. Let me tell you a story. There used to be a place called Nxi Town in the desert. It was just like Delane Village, on the edge of the desert. That day, a sandstorm also blew over. It was as big as today. The people of Nxi had never seen such a strong sandstorm. The common people were terrified and they wanted to run. The old village chief stopped them. The old village chief said, "Where can we run? Our roots are here. If we leave here, where can we go? Stay, we Nxi people are not cowards, fight the desert." Many people stayed. The old village chief organized them to dig ditches and dams to cover crops. But the sandstorm was too big and couldn't be stopped at all. The young people wanted to leave, and the old village chief said that whoever wanted to leave would never come back. "There has never been a deserter in Nxi village. We will fight the sandstorm to the end, and we will die on our land." It was dark at that time, and two frightened young people in the village ran out of the village. They wanted to live, and when they passed the ancestral hall at the entrance of the village, they heard the sound of reading across the yard. The young people thought, if they can save one, they will save one. They ran to the ancestral hall and called for the teacher, but the ancestral hall was really dilapidated. When they pushed open the door, there were only a few worn-out tiles in the room. A dozen children were sitting on the ground, reading with their teacher by the light of a kerosene lamp. The roof was blackened, and the teacher's glasses were not bright. What a young teacher! The young man said, "You are not for Mixie, so run away with us." The teacher rejected the two young men. He said, "After all, I have studied, and the common people did not escape, so how could I? It is an honor to guard the border for the country, even if you die." The teacher rejected the young man, and the young man left the ancestral hall. Suddenly, a strong wind blew over, and with a loud bang, the ancestral hall collapsed. The young man ran over desperately to dig up stones, but, Chapter 12 Seeds from the Underworld. The ancestral hall collapsed, and they dug desperately, but, looking at the cold bodies, they cried bitterly. Just as they sat helplessly in front of the ruins and wailed, they saw a little boy in the yard. The child was only 3 years old, and he was covered in dirt. He stood alone in the wind and sand, looking at the collapsed house, and burst into tears. The young man felt that he had to take the child away because his parents sacrificed themselves for the desert. They must keep him alive. Later, they left the ancestral hall, and soon they heard the news that Mixie town was submerged by the desert. The two young people took the child and went to one village after another. However, the desert did not let them go. It followed them all the way and submerged one village after another. Later, the child grew up, and the young people also grew old. The older one said that the child should study and stop running. What did he get out of running for half a lifetime? He was old, so where could he go? The desert on this planet is not a home. So they stayed on the edge of the desert, and a few years passed in a flash. The two people began to miss home crazily. They missed Mixie town, the old village chief, and the friends who grew up together in their childhood. The old man went crazy. He began to plant trees crazily. He knew that trees could not survive in the desert, but he still took out loans desperately to plant them. The younger one asked him, "What are you doing? We are not young anymore, why are we still doing this?" He said, "No, I want to send the trees to Mixie. I want to go home, I miss home." Before he finished speaking, Tang Yongjun turned his head. 2 lines of tears ran down his cheeks, like a river in a dry desert. Later, he got a serious illness and he was dying. He was lying on the hospital bed, and he said, "I really want to go back to Mixie village, I really regret leaving there." Later, I don't know what kind of perseverance made him stand up again. He used up his last bit of strength to bet all his wealth in the desert. He knew that he couldn't pay back the loans, but he was not afraid. He just wanted to plant trees in the desert, he just wanted to go home. When he got old, he just wanted to return to his roots. Later, someone threatened him, saying that if he handed over the desert, he would find gold. The old guy was very stubborn. He said that even if you found God, I would not hand over the desert. No one could stop him from going home, even the Secretary General of the United Nations would be useless. He never gave up the desert until his death. He knew that once he gave up the desert would flood the village. He had been running away for most of his life, and he didn't want to run away again. After Uncle Tang finished speaking, Jiang Chen understood. "Those two people are grandpa and you, right?" After Jiang Chen finished speaking, Tang Yongjun neither nodded nor shook his head. Jiang Chen finally understood why everyone in the village called them desert people. He also finally understood why his family had such a good relationship with the Tang family and why Grandpa insisted on letting him marry Tang Yanqi. Because they were both children of the desert, what did the teacher in the ancestral hall look like? Jiang Chen leaned against the pillar and picked up the cigarette from the ground. "I don't remember, it's been too long. I only remember how they looked when they came. That day, the old village chief asked us to take the children to the village entrance to pick them up. Young people from the city are just good looking. That smile was like a flower. Yes, it was as pretty as the girl in the restaurant. The children gave flowers to the girl. The girl held the small wild flowers and cried on the spot. She said that the children here were too pitiful and she must stay to protect them." After Tang Yongjun finished speaking, Jiang Chen put out the cigarette. "I know what to do. I will fulfill my grandfather's dream and plant trees in Mixie town." He already knew where his parents were buried. Even if he used up all his strength in his life, he would find them. Alas, how can it be so easy to plant trees in the desert? As long as the strong sandstorm blows over, the trees will die. Once the trees die, the village can't be saved. Tang Yongjun sighed. Maybe he has no hope of seeing the land of Mixie in this life. There must be a way. Go find Grandpa, he must have a way to control the desert. Thinking of this, Jiang Chen lay down in the pavilion and fell asleep. A gust of black wind blew, and Jiang Chen soon came to a hall. The ox-headed and horse-faced demons did not stop him, and he walked straight into the hall. Grandpa, I want to stay in Delane Village, I want to fight the desert, and I want to complete your unfinished dream for you. Jiang Chen walked to the hall and looked up at his grandfather who was sitting behind the desk. The grandfather in red official robe showed a gratified smile on his face. He could help Jiang Chen, but he was afraid that his grandson would not stay in the desert and suffer. Good grandson, I am very pleased that you decided to stay. Grandpa will definitely help you with all his strength. Just tell me what you need. Grandpa Sandgut stepped down from his official position. Jiang Chen looked back at the desert in the distance. If you want to save Delane Village, you must fix the sand dunes. If you want to fix the sand dunes, you must plant something on the sand. But that is a desert, what can be planted? Grandpa, where did you buy your trees? They survived in the desert for 5 years, which means they are adapted to the desert environment, and I need them. Speaking of the trees in the desert, Jiang Xiaobian recalled. I bought this tree from an old man. I bought it when I passed by the national highway at night. You definitely can't buy it anymore. Jiang Xiaobian sighed, but at this moment the judge suddenly changed into a white-haired old man. God, do I look like the old man you met? After the judge finished speaking, Jiang Xiaobian's eyes lit up. Wasn't this the old man he met? I see, it's you, no wonder the tree can't survive in the desert. God, to be honest, I did sell those saplings back then. The desert and the underworld has been rampant over the years, and the king of hell ordered me to find a way. I thought about the companionship of yin and yang. The desert is the most yang place on earth, and the underworld is the most yang place in the world. If the saplings of the underworld are planted in the desert of the living, can the effect of neutralizing yin and yang be achieved? Now it seems that it should be effective. After the judge finished speaking, Jiang Chen's eyes lit up. If what the judge said was right, why would he plant trees? Wouldn't it be faster to plant grass? Grandpa, find a way to buy me some grass seeds. I want to quickly plant a meadow next to Delane Village. The desert of Delane Village is already a critically ill patient, and there is no help for a critically ill patient by taking slow medicine. So it must be given a strong medicine. Okay, I'll find a way to get you grass seeds. However, there is a difference between yin and yang, how can I send it to you? Grandpa said worriedly. Jiang Chen thought about it, this is indeed a problem. After all, Shenfen doesn't accept this express delivery. Grandpa, think of a way. By the way, grandson, Grandpa can get the seeds to the moon or underground river. After Jiang Chen finished speaking, the judge stopped him. God, no, that will consume yin qi. If you want to bring things from the underworld to the world of the living, it will consume yin qi, but it will reduce your lifespan. People in the underworld are the same as people in the world of the living. They all have limited lifespans. Although the god of sand is a ghost, his lifespan is no more than 100 years. After the judge finished speaking, Jiang Xiaobian patted Jiang Chen on the shoulder and said, my grandson is in trouble, what does my life mean? Chen, just go and control the desertification, and leave the rest to Grandpa. After Jiang Xiaobian finished speaking, the judge sighed, forget it, the yin energy is the strongest tonight, and the damage caused by moving objects today is the least. After the judge finished speaking, Jiang Xiaobian nodded, then let's do it today. After Grandpa finished speaking, Jiang Chen felt his feet lighten, and the whole person seemed to fall off a cliff. He woke up with a start, it was dark, and the wind and sand gradually subsided. Uncle Tang, I have a way to control the desert. After Jiang Chen finished speaking, Tang Yongjun was puzzled. How could he have a solution after a good night's sleep? How to control it? Wait for my good news. After Jiang Chen finished speaking, he took the net and ran to the mouth of the Moona River. Chapter 13 is this Uncle Buffalo. Time passed little by little. Just after midnight, Jiang Chen came with a flashlight and arrived at the underground river next to the pavilion. The underground river only had a small bucket-sized mouth. Jiang Chen kept shining the flashlight. The river water was clear and icy cold. After a while, a little black thing floated in the clear river water. Jiang Chen hurriedly reached out and scooped up a grain of grass seeds. Great, Grandpa successfully sent the seeds. Jiang Chen said, holding the net and quickly reaching into the cave. The whistling wind was still incessant. When Jiang Chen scooped up most of the sack of seeds, it was already past 5 o'clock and the sky was about to dawn. The seeds were gone, and an old man fell to the ground next to the river next to the sand temple. The ox-headed horse-faced beside him hurriedly helped him up. Because he consumed too much yin qi, the old man fainted directly. Alas, fortunately today is an extremely yin night, otherwise the sand god would probably be gone. The judge said and followed the ox-headed horse-faced back to the sand temple. In the orchard of Delane Village, Jiang Chen quickly planted the seeds after getting them. He knew that the temperature difference between day and night in the desert was extremely large. If he didn't plant them now, the seeds would be cooked by the sun when the sun got hot during the day. Let's try it first, Jiang Chen said, and first grabbed a handful of seeds and scattered them under the apricot tree. He wanted to first build a seedling base of several acres at the junction of the orchard and Delane village. After scattering the seeds, Jiang Chen shook the water and sprinkled it on the seeds little by little. The wind and sand were very strong. In order to ensure that these seeds could survive, Jiang Chen took the plastic sheet and covered them. The sky soon brightened. Jiang Chen walked back to the village against the wind and sand. This time he didn't hesitate. He knew that he had chosen the right path, a path that the people of Delane village would not regret when they were old. In the village, the wind and sand were much weaker. The people stood on the road and talked a lot. They were a little at a loss. Oh, what should we do? A few years ago, my hometown was destroyed because of such wind blowing in the desert. Oh, it seems that I don't know how long this wind will blow. If the wind continues to blow, I'm afraid there will be no wheat this year. If the wheat is gone, how can I pay my child's tuition? The common people only have this little land to make a living. If there's no harvest today, it will probably be difficult to harvest in the future. Oh, if Dadu was here, we could ask him to contact the people above. Dadu is gone, and now we haven't decided who the new village chief will be. It's difficult. I think it's better to sell all the land. By opening a mine, we can at least save some money to settle down in a farther place. After a group of worried people finished speaking, Jiang Chen shouted to everyone, "What future can mining have? Where can you escape to?" After Jiang Chen finished speaking, several people who were busy with good intentions were unhappy on the spot. "What are you talking about? If it weren't for you, the son of a bitch, getting Diego arrested, would our meeting be like this?" "That's right, I think it's better to sell it and open a mine, at least there will be some money in my pocket." "Now it's better not to open a mine, once the sandstorm comes, no one can earn a penny." Uncle Wang from the village said this, and Jiang Chen frowned. If the people don't obey him, it will be difficult to deal with it. After all, it's not enough for him to build a desert alone. "Don't worry, without Zhang Diego, I will still let you live a good life. Follow me to the mountain tomorrow, I have a way to block the desert, so that your wheat will have a good harvest this year." After Jiang Chen finished speaking, a group of people looked at each other and no one spoke. At dawn the next day, everyone came to Jiang Chen's orchard against the sandstorm. After all, Jiang Chen is a college student, and it is impossible for him not to keep his word. "Jiang Chen, do you have any way to deal with the sandstorm?" Uncle Buffalo, with a wrinkled face, lit his pipe. At this moment, Jiang Chen had walked to a place covered with plastic sheeting. Lifting the plastic sheet, a tender yellow seedling grew out of the golden and slightly moist sandy land. The moment he looked at the seedling, Uncle Buffalo's pipe couldn't help but tremble. "Ah, grass seedlings. Oh my God, there are grass seedlings in the desert." Jiang Chen actually planted grass in the yellow sand. For thousands of years, no one has been able to grow anything in that yellow sand. "Oh my God, is this true?" After Wang Xiangqing shouted, a group of people hurriedly surrounded the small grass seedling. They were afraid that the wind would blow off the delicate teeth. "Yes, all this is true," Jiang Chen said, and a smile appeared on his face. He knew that he succeeded. The grass seeds from the underworld given by his grandfather were successful. And once he has the ability to control the desert, will he still lack money? "Fellow villagers, believe me, even without John Dadu, I can still save your crops. As long as I plant these grass seedlings all over the desert contracted by my grandfather, the sandstorm will not blow to Delane village. The wheat you planted on the ridges will be able to survive intact." Jiang Chen finished speaking, and soon a group of people excitedly applauded. Jiang Chen was able to keep their wheat alive under impossible circumstances, which was undoubtedly the best reward for them. "Great. Our Delane village is saved. What do you need us to do now?" "As long as we can't save our wheat, you can ask your Uncle Buffalo to do anything. The fields are the lives of the people." After Uncle Buffalo finished speaking, he looked at Jiang Chen, and several other villagers also looked at Jiang Chen with excitement. If Delane village can be saved, who is willing to leave their hometown and go to other places? "Yes, Jiang Chen, what do you need us to do?" "Just tell me. Plant these grass seedlings and let them grow. Only in this way can your wheat be saved." After Jiang Chen shouted, he raised his head and looked at the roaring desert in the distance. As long as his grass can take root and sprout in the desert, he is not afraid of the desert. No matter how much sand the wind blows over, he can turn it into grassland. "Okay, everyone come to help," Uncle Buffalo shouted, and soon a group of villagers came with tools. "How to do it? Tell me." After Uncle Buffalo finished speaking, Jiang Chen began to think. Last night, his grandfather had a dream. If he wanted to send seeds from the underworld to the world of the living, it would consume too much energy. Although he is the god of scent, he cannot consume it for a long time. So he can only send seeds once a month on the most day. And the seed sent will not be many, so Jiang Chen must ensure that every seed can survive. First, build a seed base. Choose the east side of the orchard. With the orchard as a barrier, the seeds are easy to survive. Uncle Buffalo, I asked Uncle Tam to go to the town to buy canvas with good breathability. You bring the villagers with me. After Jiang Chen finished speaking, Uncle Buffalo led a few people to the orchard. The orchard was half submerged by the strong wind and sand at this moment. Jiang Chen found a piece of land near the village, and he decided to build a seed nursery base here. Uncle Buffalo, plant grass from here to the orchard first. Help me flatten this area, we'll do it during the day and start planting at night. After Jiang Chen shouted, Uncle Buffalo looked at the sand dunes in the wind and said with some doubts. Logically speaking, if you want the grass seedlings to mature and grow, shouldn't you plant them on the ridges? Jiang Chen, there are 2 acres of good fields in front of my house, why don't you plant the grass seeds there first? When the grass grows up, we'll move it to the desert. After all, Uncle Buffalo is the person in charge of water in this area, and he has some knowledge. Chapter 14 Construction of Sand Screen. After Sweeney finished speaking, Jiang Chen shook his head. No, these grass seeds were specially developed by my classmates at the seed station. Everyone, help me level the sand first, and we will plant directly on the sand. Jiang Chen took the lead and started working. Under his leadership, more than a dozen villagers in Delane village took shovels to level the land. Time passed little by little, and when it was dusk, a large area of uneven sand was flattened. But at this moment, the yellow sand in the distance pushed the sand dunes and rushed towards the orchard again. Jiang Chen, what should we do now? It was almost dusk, and the people in Sweeney were covered with sand. Don't worry about the sand waves first, there is water in the orchard, everyone fetch water and splash the ground first. Jiang Chen didn't dare to take risks. The temperature in the desert was very high during the day. If he spread the seeds now, he would die again. Wait, I have a water pump at home, I'll pull it for you to water it quickly. Sweeney said and drove his battery car home in the wind and sand. Half an hour later, a gasoline engine water pump was set up next to the pavilion. Uncle Sweeney skillfully connected the pipes. After the pump started to work, a steady stream of clear water flowed into Jiang Chen's experimental field. As soon as the water was poured on the sand, it was quickly absorbed. After pouring the water several times, the sand was slightly connected. Sowing seeds, Jiang Chen said, and he carried a bag of seeds from under the apricot tree. After a day's hard work, everyone only leveled out half an acre of land. So a small bag of seeds is enough. Speaking of sowing seeds, he is not good at it. But fortunately, Tam Yongjun is back. Tam Yongjun is a big farmer, so he took on this job without hesitation. Under the starry sky, the wind and sand stopped a lot. Sowing seeds is the same as sowing wheat, just spread it evenly. After Tam Yongjun finished speaking, he grabbed the seeds and sprinkled them in the yellow sand like spreading fertilizer. Half an hour later, the seeds were all sown. After sowing the seeds, Jiang Chen led everyone to cover the sandproof cloth. It was late at night, and after everything was done, the villagers carried their hose and went home. At the edge of the field, Tam Yongjun handed Jiang Chen a glass of water, and Jiang Chen took it. Jiang Chen, are you sure you can grow this grass seedling? After Tam Yongjun finished speaking, Jiang Chen nodded. Since the trees in the underworld have been confirmed to survive in the desert, this seed will also survive if nothing unexpected happens. It should be no problem. Jiang Chen opened the water cup and gulped down a few sips. After a few sips of water, the feeling of dryness and heat really faded a lot. Even if you can grow it, what's the use? Grass can't be sold. I heard Uncle Buffalo say that you plan to plant grass on the 10,000 acres of land contracted by your grandfather. After Tam Yongjun finished speaking, Jiang Chen nodded. Yes, only by planting grass on the edge of the desert can we fix the wind and sand and block the desert. You can block the desert, but what's the use? What do you mean by making money? Tam Yongjun expressed his doubts, and Jiang Chen smiled. He hadn't thought so far. Let's plant the grass first. As long as the grass can be planted, we won't be short of money with this technology alone. There are so many places in the world that are plagued by deserts. If he has the ability to green the desert, it would be so easy to make money. Well, we have to think about it in advance, otherwise it will be a waste of time and others will get something for nothing. From the enthusiasm of Ishwini and his friends working today, old Tam knew that they must be using his future son-in-law. But who was not using each other? Before dawn the next day, the strong wind and sand blew again. Uncle Schweinu and others were afraid that the grass seedlings would die, so they ran to the orchard before dawn. There were many people in the orchard. What should we do? We have to think of a way. With the speed of the wind and sand, our grass seedling base will be gone in a few days. When they arrived at the orchard, the half-acre of grass in the orchard was covered with sand and dust. If this continues, the grass will be drowned by the desert before it grows up. I think we should move these grasses to our good fields. After Uncle Wang Fang finished speaking, Jiang Chen shook his head. I have an idea. We need to mobilize the whole village to build a sand barrier. Jiang Chen had thought of these problems a long time ago, but he couldn't raise them earlier. He was still a student. His grandfather left him nothing but debts. He ate at the Tang family every day. He couldn't ask Tang Yongjun to pay for him to hire someone to repair the sand barrier. How to repair it? After Uncle Schweinu finished speaking, he looked at Jiang Chen. He had some strength and was in charge of the water station in the village. Only by blocking the wind and sand could he make money here forever. Build at least 3 sand barriers to the desert from the west of the orchard. Build as high as possible so that the strong winds can stop the surging sand dunes. As long as the wind and sand are stopped, our grass seed base will have a chance to survive. When the time comes, I will plant lawns on Grandpa's 10,000 mu of land, and our delayed village will be saved. After Jiang Chen finished speaking, the people thought about it and it made sense. And they had every reason to believe that Jiang Chen would build grasslands. Because Jiang Chen's orchard was here, if Jiang Chen wanted to make money, he had to rely on the orchard. Fellow villagers, we are all grasshoppers on the same line now. It's up to you whether you work or not. After saying this, Uncle Buffalo looked at the people behind him. Who among those people would like their fields to be swallowed by the desert? As the saying goes, lips and teeth are cold. If they don't save Jiang Chen, their wheat fields will be the next to be flooded. We are idle anyway. We did a lot of work when digging the river before. Let's go and get to work. After the money-keeping uncle finished speaking, a group of people were soon mobilized. Everyone returned to the village and started calling people from house to house. Hundreds of people gathered at the entrance of the village in the morning. This was a matter of life and death for Delane village, so no one wanted to be a coward. Zhuochen, everyone is here, what do you say? After everyone arrived, Ishwini looked at Jiang Chen. Since Zhang Dadu and the accountant's people were arrested, the only person in charge of the village was Uncle Schweinu at the water station. Fellow villagers, let's not talk nonsense, let's go to the quicksand land west of the orchard to dig a sand pit. Those who have car can push the car, and those who don't have car can use a shovel to dig trenches from north to south. The deeper the better. By the way, uncles and aunts, you go to dig trenches. Uncles and aunts, you stay and help flatten the land. We have to plant more grass seeds today, and when the grass grows into a lawn, we can dig it and plant it in the desert. After Jiang Chen shouted, the villagers had no other opinions. So Uncle Buffalo was responsible for leading everyone to dig sand barriers in the desert, while Jiang Chen led the villagers to level the land and continue to plant grass. Uncle Tang's family in the distance had no work arranged, so they had other uses. Now Jiang Chen's orchard is mostly flooded with sand. If the sand in the orchard is not removed, the fruit trees will die. If the fruit trees die, how can Jiang Chen make money? So Uncle Tang was responsible for helping Jiang Chen clean up the yellow sand in the orchard. Time passed little by little, and after 2 days of hard work, a long sand hill appeared in the desert. After repairing a sand barrier, Jiang Chen also planted a 3-acre grass seedling base. After a few days of labor, Tang Yongjun also led people to transport the yellow sand out of the 100-acre orchard. If you're listening to this novel on a channel other than Fanfic World, it means they downloaded and uploaded it without effort. We cordially invite you to visit our channel, Mundo Fanfic Novelas. There you'll find the original version of this story and you can explore many other novels of various genres. We're waiting for you to immerse yourself in a world of incredible novels. Chapter 15 Delane Village Grassland Experimental Area. In the blink of an eye, a month passed, and the strong sandstorm became weaker and weaker. In the morning, Jiang Chen woke up and went to the orchard as soon as possible. This is an important day. Today's the day when Jiang Chen transplants grass to the desert. When he arrived at the orchard, hundreds of villagers had gathered beside the orchard. Finally, the greenhouse is going to be opened. Have the grass really grown up? Of course not. When we sprinkled water in the greenhouse a few days ago, the grass seedlings were so tall. It can grow in the greenhouse, but can it still grow in the desert? Yes, things in the greenhouse are generally spoiled. If this is exposed to the fierce sandstorm, it will definitely die. After a group of people finished talking, Jiang Chen came. Zhao Chen, we are all here to help. This is an important day, because Jiang Chen decided to transplant the grass planted in the greenhouse to the desert. As long as he can succeed this time, then he will say without hesitation that he has found a way to control the desert. Thanks, Uncle Buffalo, let's get started. After Jiang Chen finished speaking, Tang Yongjun and Li Xiaoqing lifted the two legs of the greenhouse and slowly rolled up the plastic awning. After the plastic awning was opened, the golden sunlight spread to the earth. At this moment, in the silent desert, a green grassland suddenly appeared in front of us. In a yellow sandfield, the green is simply dazzling. It's so beautiful. Tang Yongjun said proudly, and everyone nodded. The green on the grass is dense and seamless, which is unlike the wheat fields. Their wheat fields are always sparse with one plant here and one plant there. If the wheat grows so well, it would be great. Li Xiaoqing finished speaking, and Jiang Chen patted him on the shoulder. Don't worry. When I manage the desert, your wheat will be better than this. Jiang Chen finished speaking and asked everyone to work. According to Jiang Chen's plan, he decided to build a green grassland experimental area to the west of the 100-acre orchard first. He wanted to transplant the grass seedlings of these 3 acres into the desert. Uncle Buffalo, has the water pipe been pulled to the experimental area? Led by Tang Yongjun, a group of careful women shoveled the grass, and Jiang Chen looked at Uncle Buffalo. Now Hishwiniu, Tang Yongjun and Li Xiaoqing are Jiang Chen's right-hand men. Don't worry, they've all been pulled over. When you weren't here, I asked Dao Fan to water the fields. Hishwiniu said, lighting his pipe and smoking. Wang Fan is Hishwiniu's little follower at the water station. He is loyal and will not cause trouble. Jiang Chen is relieved to let him water the fields. Okay, the sun is not hot now, let's start. Jiang Chen said, and pulled a flatbed truck to the desert grassland comprehensive experimental area west of the orchard. When he arrived at the west of the desert, Jiang Chen was sweating. The flatbed truck ran fast on the dirt road, but once it entered the desert, the wheels sank into the sand, making it particularly difficult to push. When they arrived at the grass garden experimental area, a long pipe had been pulled into the grassland experimental area and was watering it. The yellow sand in the grassland experimental area was already a little moist. Start planting. Jiang Chen said, and several people hurriedly unloaded the turf and placed it evenly in the desert piece by piece. It was noon soon. The desert became hot at noon. The scorching sun could burn people's skin. In order to make the grass seedlings settle in the desert as soon as possible and to save water, everyone poured cold water on themselves and continued to plant grass wearing straw hats. When night came, everyone ate a steamed bun and started planting again. Days passed, and 2 days later, the 7-acre grassland experimental area was sparsely planted with lawns. When the lawns were just planted, Jiang Chen thought they would survive, but the grass seedlings planted on the first day all turned yellow. Seeing the grass seedlings turn yellow, Jiang Chen's heart sank. If this failed, would it be worthy of the people's hard work day and night? Who in the village would obey him in the future? When night came, Jiang Chen, who was anxious, suddenly ran into Tang Yongjun, who ran in a panic. Xiao Chen, Hishwiniu, that bastard, ran away. Tang Yongjun said anxiously, and Jiang Chen was stunned. This was really good news. Hishwiniu was undoubtedly Jiang Chen's most capable assistant in blocking the desert, not only because he is capable, but also because he has equipment. Why did he run away? Didn't Uncle Hishwiniu say that? This is a matter of prosperity and loss. My grass is not good, and Bila village has been swallowed up by the desert. Who will he sell water to? Jiang Chen said anxiously. Tang Yongjun wiped the sweat from his forehead and sighed. These people are very realistic. They saw that your grass was dying and there was no way to do it. So they all ran away. I'll go talk to him. Jiang Chen said, and hurried to the grassland experimental area. At this moment, the water pipes in the grassland experimental area of Dilane village were gone. Back to the orchard, the water pump in the orchard was also pulled away. These grasslands were already dry. If they are not watered every day, how can they survive? No, I have to call Uncle Hishwiniu. Jiang Chen said, and dialed Hishwiniu's phone. Uncle Hishwiniu, what's wrong with the water pipe? Jiang Chen asked, and Hishwiniu also looked angry. You still ask me what's wrong? In order to get that piece of land for you, I provided both manpower and materials. I don't know how much money I wasted on oil in these days, but your grass died. If I don't run away, how much oil will I have to pay to be satisfied? After Hishwiniu finished speaking, Jiang Chen knew that the He family must have put pressure on him in the past few days. There are a total of 5 surnames in Dilane village, and the He family has the largest number of people. When Jiang Chen was planting grass, no one from the He family came. I'm really short of water now, don't listen to the nonsense of your family. If my grass really dies, I tell you, you won't benefit at all. Also, I can promise you one thing. You can continue to sell your water in Delane Village in the future. The water in my orchard is for my own land and orchard. In the future, the villagers in our village will get water from me for watering and drinking. I won't go down this road. Think it through and call me back. If you leave Delane Village and have no water in your hands, you are nothing. Jiang Chen hung up the phone. Time passed little by little, and Jiang Chen walked to the grassland experimental field under the starry sky. Looking at it, the wind swept over the sand dunes in the distance and sprinkled on the grass little by little. A piece of green grass is turned withered and yellow, and the scene is really distressing. Humans are still too small in front of nature. Jiang Chen sighed, and suddenly his cell phone rang. Jiang Chen, I've figured it out. I'll water the land for you for the last 3 days. But we have to sign a contract. You are not allowed to sell water to the village in the future. Deal. Jiang Chen said, and soon Shuinu came to the desert with a handwritten contract. Sign the contract first. If you violate the agreement and rush to the village to sell water, you have to give me 100,000 yuan. Shuinu said, and Jiang Chen took the pen and signed his name. After signing, Uncle Shuinu brought the equipment and continued to water the land. Time passed little by little. The desert was still hot during the day and cold at night. Jiang Chen stayed in the grassland every day, and he put everything on it. If the grass was alive, he would stay, and if the grass died, he would leave. On the 3rd day, in the evening, Shuinu turned off the engine. Jiang Chen, give up. Don't blame Uncle Shuinu for not helping you this time. Chapter 16. Did the Desert Green Grass Project fail? As the sun sets, the sky turns red with clouds of fire. Shuinu lights his pipe, and Tang Yongjun can't help but sigh. Alas, I still failed. I knew nothing can grow on this desert. The 7 acres of grass in front of him have turned from yellow to hay. Zhuochen, do you still want this hay? I'll take it home to feed the sheep. Li Xiangyan, who was as thin as a monkey in the distance, said this, and Jiang Chen patted the dirt on his butt and stood up. Take it away. Jiang Chen said this, he knew that this time he was likely to fail. Life is not satisfactory in 9 out of 10 cases, so what's the big deal? At most, you can start over again. Wait. My God, your grass is not dead. Just as Jiang Chen was about to return to the orchard, Li Xiangyan suddenly shouted. Jiang Chen turned around and saw Lin Xiangyan holding a handful of withered leaves in his hand. But under the withered leaves, small yellow seedlings actually grew. Oh my God, this is simply a miracle. Li Xiangyan shouted, and Jiang Chen rushed into the grass. He pulled up a piece of dead grass, and a young seedling grew under the dead grass. It's alive. Success. Jiang Chen shouted excitedly, and Shuinu also ran to the grass and grabbed a handful of grass. When he saw the tender grass tip, he was stunned. It can actually survive in the desert. Da Fang, don't stop the water, water it for me. Zhuochen, if you make money from this in the future, you have to pay me the gas money you owe me. Uncle Shuinu said excitedly, and Jiang Chen nodded. Don't be happy so early now, this thing is just the beginning, and it can make money if it can be promoted on a large scale. After Jiang Chen finished speaking, Wang Fan went to pull things. In the evening afterglow, water was poured on the grass again. Looking at the small grass seedling starting to turn green, Shuinu walked to Jiang Chen with worry. Jiang Chen, you know what? Even if you defeat Zhang Dadu, it will be difficult for you to defend the desert. Shuinu finished speaking. If Jiang Chen guessed correctly, then the new village chief must be in office. What do you mean? Tang Yongjun came over from a distance. He promised Zhang Xiaobian that he would take good care of Jiang Chen. He couldn't bear to see his child being bullied. I asked a friend to find out. The court arrested Zhang Dadu yesterday. They are suspected of killing your grandfather and his Wang. The mastermind behind this is Boss Zhao, and the village chief and the accountant are accomplices. After they are arrested, the village will have to re-elect. After Shuinu finished speaking, Tang Yongjun clapped his hands happily. This is a good thing. These people are in collusion every day, but they have not done anything good for the village. After Tang Yongjun finished speaking, Shuinu sighed. It's a good thing that they were arrested. However, the village has to re-elect again, which is not a good thing. Speaking of elections, Jiang Chen narrowed his eyes. The He family has the largest population in Delane village, accounting for at least 1/2 of the village's population. Zhang Dadu was able to take office because of his grandfather's help. Now that his grandfather is gone and Zhang Dadu has stepped down, no one can suppress the He family. You, the He family, are in power. As a member of the He family, you should be happy. After Jiang Chen finished speaking, the big man Shuinu cursed. Be happy, what the hell? They're in power, and they sell mines all the time. They sell mines and the people move my water away. Who will they sell it to? Isn't this destroying my position? Besides, what can I do if I leave Delane Village? Go to the city and be a dog for others? Forget it, let's not talk about this. We are grasshoppers on the same road now. You can make our place an oasis, so that no one can open a mine and no one can leave, and I can still make some money. After Hishwini finished speaking, Jiang Chen nodded. It seems that the village can't calm down again. Time passed day by day, and soon enough, a new election was held in the village. With an overwhelming number of people, Yuzi of the He family was elected. After Yuzi came to power, his first sight was on Jiang Chen and Jiang Chen's gold mine in the desert. In the village office, when Jiang Chen led Hishwini and others to plant a new grass seed greenhouse, Yuzi convened the first village meeting. Open a mine, we must open a mine. In a small village committee office, Yuzi slammed a table and said, and the new accountant took out a document. This is the document from Deputy County Wang. Wang Qiang requires that efforts be accelerated to promote the mining process of Delongkan gold mine. If Delane Village does not open a mine, Longchen County will not be rich. All those who oppose the opening of a mine are our enemies. Now let me introduce you. This is the new legal person of Pingyang Mining, Zhao Yongyi, the son of Boss Zhao. He will take over Pingyang Mining and continue to implement the Delane Village mining plan. Accountant Zhu said that this meant that the people of the two big families in Delane Village had basically joined the mining team. If we want to open a mine, the land contracted by Jiang Chen is a hurdle that we cannot overcome. If you have any good suggestions, please share them. Yuzi finished speaking and looked at the village representatives. In fact, these were not village representatives at all, they were all his confidants. Zhao Yongyi had promised that they would hold important positions in the mine in the future. We can't be so radical. I don't want to kill people. When it comes to dealing with Jiang Chen, a timid villager stood up. I don't want to kill people either. The old village chief is so miserable. He is already over 50 years old. I don't know how many years he will be sentenced to. It's hard to say whether he can come out alive. After an uncle with a pipe in his mouth finished speaking, the accountant smiled and said, we don't do illegal things like killing people. If we don't kill people, can't we squeeze them out? While a group of people were discussing in the village, Jiang Chen had already transplanted the newly grown grass seedlings into the new desert test field. He planned to build a test field covering an area of nearly 100 acres first, and when it succeeded, he would expand the planting. Once the grass can survive for a year and the grass can grow again in the second year, he will apply for a patent in the city. As long as he applies for a patent, he can set up a desert management company. After the company is established, he can go to the bank for a loan and raise funds everywhere. The desert restoration alone is enough for him to make money. In the early morning, when Jiang Chen and Tang Yongjun's men were transplanting grass seedlings, a group of people suddenly came in a mighty force. These people were led by Yuzi, and even the old captain of the police station who was responsible for guarding the gold mine came. A group of people came up the mountain in a mighty force, and Wei Fang, who was pumping water, was frightened. He stopped the water and quickly called Hishwini. Hearing that there were more people coming from the police station, Hishwini quickly called Jiang Chen. Zhou Chen, something terrible has happened. Yuzi has brought people here. This is definitely not a good thing. Hurry up and call your classmates, otherwise, I'm afraid he will pull up all your grass seedlings and take you away. After Hishwini finished shouting, Jiang Chen quickly called Chu Shixin. Daxiang, are you in Daily Ishin? Come quickly, they are messing with me again. After Jiang Chen finished speaking, Chu Shixin cursed directly. Is this T&D never going to end? Wait for me for a while, I'll bring people over right away. After Chu Shixin finished speaking, he called a group of brothers to come in a police car. Chu Shixin is a special police officer in the county, and is stationed in Daily Ishin. His mission is to intercept those who steal gold mines. Under the orchard, a group of people were stopped by Tang Yongjun at the edge of the desert before they went up the mountain. What are you doing here? The desert does not welcome you. Chapter 17. 800,000 rand. Tang Yongjun shouted to a group of people, and a Yuzi, who was in his 30s and in the prime of life, walked up to him. Hey, isn't this Uncle Tang? When did you come to work in the orchard? I'm so sorry today, I have to take people to arrest your future son-in-law. After Yuzi finished speaking, several people in uniforms behind him took out handcuffs. Why arrest him? Tang Yongjun was not afraid either. Damn it, he should have died in the desert long ago. What was there for him to be afraid of? What's more, Zhou Chen's desert grassland experimental field was already half successful. As long as it can grow again next year, even the county magistrate will have a look at their faces in the future. I can't talk to you, Uncle Tang, hurry up and call your son-in-law. Confess and you'll get leniency, maybe you can get a few fewer years in prison. Accountant Zhu also started to grumble at the side with a smug look. This new accountant used to sell pesticides in the village. He was in his 30s and had not been to school much. He was bold and arrogant. Last time, a villager from Qianlan village came to him and said that he was selling fake medicine. Accountant Zhu broke his leg without saying a word. It was because he was also a ruthless character that he usually recruited him to the mining team. After the burly man Zukai finished speaking, Jiang Chen had already led a dozen people down the mountain. Jiang Chen also had the support of several big families behind him. The Sunday family, Zhu family, and Li family in the village were all on his side. When Jiang Chen's grandfather was the village chief, these small families moved from the desert village. They were helped a lot by Jiang Chen's grandfather. So, when Jiang Chen was in trouble, they all came to help more or less. Who wants me to confess and be lenient? Jiang Chen finished speaking, and he took an iron pipe and hid behind him. You son of a bitch, if you dare to harm Zhao Chen today, I will be the first to deal with you. After Jiang Chen finished speaking, the skinny monkey Li Xiaogang picked up a stone from the ground. Li Xiaogang is also in his 30s this year. He is the most loyal junior of Zhang Xiaobian. Just because he was playing alone in the river when he was a child and fell into an ice hole. It was Jiang Chen's grandfather who fished him out of the water. So Li Xiaogang's parents asked Li Xiaogang to recognize Zhang Xiaobian as his step-grandfather. It's just right that you came down, so I don't have to go up to look for you. Old Captain, take him away. He couldn't help but pick at the mole on his cheek after he finished speaking. The mole was much bigger, and Jiang Chen once suspected that it might be cancer. Pick it every day, don't let it break and die one day. After he finished speaking, two young men came towards Jiang Chen with handcuffs. Don't talk, everything you say will become evidence. Become evidence of your blind arrest. After Jiang Chen finished speaking, the two were stunned. As expected, he is the first college student to come out of Delane village, and his tongue is smooth. We suspect that you are mining gold privately. After an old policeman with some white hair finished speaking, Jiang Chen chuckled. How dare you accuse me of this crime? Why don't you suspect that I stole your sow? I'm not going anywhere, my classmate will be here soon. Before my classmate comes, don't take me away. Jiang Chen knew that he was the biggest obstacle for this group of people to open a mine. Once they secretly harmed him, they could just make up a traffic accident and open a mine in the village without any worries. For money, people have lost their conscience to the point where they are worse than dogs. Hey, you're still stubborn, I wonder if your classmate dares to come today. The old captain snorted, and a young man in mint came from behind. Haha, you stupid X, do you think everyone has to spoil you? To tell you the truth, just because of saving you last time, your classmate has been reprimanded. Opening a mine is inevitable. Whoever blocks this is against the entire Longchen County. If he dares to come again, I will stand upside down and eat shit. Before the young man finished speaking, a young man in uniform had already walked over. Why shouldn't I come? The young man spoke loudly. When several people turned around, they saw that Jiang Chen's classmate was here again. A face-to-face conversation is nothing. Today I want to see who dares to arrest people here. After Chu Shixin finished speaking, several people of the same age came behind him. That's right. I think Longchen County has rebelled against you guys. Several young people graduated at about the same time. They were full of passion when they first started working. They were willing to devote their youth to this hot land. So they were not afraid of power. Damn, at worst, they could just move to another place to work. Anyway, this was not a place for people to stay. Okay, you guys are brave. I tell you not to interfere in this matter. Look, this is the document sent by Wang Qiong. Read it carefully. He was a small village official. He knew that these young people would not give him his face. He took out the document, and several young people were a little confused. In front of outsiders, they could stand up straight and uphold justice, but this guy was the boss of their boss's boss. Where does this document say that you are asked to arrest people? Chu Shixin scanned it up and down and questioned in a stern voice. They just wanted to use this document to pressure Chu Shixin, but Chu Shixin was not a fool. Moreover, since he dared to stand here and take charge of this matter today, he must have a backup plan. Although it is not in the document, but you tell me that you are not guilty of secretly leaving the state gold mine. He loudly resisted. He could not be timid at this time. As long as he successfully completed this task, he would be the first beneficiary once the mine was opened. Who secretly opened the state gold mine? You. After Jiang Chen finished speaking, Zukai pointed to the orchard behind Jiang Chen and said, Don't think we don't have evidence. If you don't open a mine, why do you buy so many water pipes and pumps? If you don't open a mine, why do you have so many people blocking the orchard to prevent others from entering? Obviously, many small workshops open mines to wash away mud and sand to pan for gold. Who told you that the purpose of pumping water is to mine gold? What would you do if you don't mine gold? Would you farm? After Zukai finished speaking, Jiang Chen smiled and said, "You are right. I have planted a grassland. Are you interested in visiting?" After Jiang Chen finished speaking, when he mentioned planting grassland, no one believed him. If you can grow grassland in the desert, you can go to Saudi Arabia to be a sheik. Look at what you are capable of. Confess your crime as soon as possible to save trouble. After he finished speaking, Chu Shixing said, "Let them go and see, let them give up." After Chu Shixing finished speaking, Jiang Chen took them directly into the orchard. There was not much wind in the orchard, and several people visited the orchard first. In the orchard, they did not find Jiang Chen's mining equipment. Several people followed Jiang Chen to the grassland experimental area with half belief and half doubt. As soon as they entered the grassland experimental area, a group of people were stunned. Under the breeze, a large area of tender grass suddenly appeared in front of them in a golden desert, as if they were pulled into a 3D movie all of a sudden. How is this possible? He muttered to himself, and Jiang Chen pointed at him and said, "How is it impossible? Are you blind and can't see it?" Several people searched left and right in the grassland experimental area, but found nothing. The charge of slandering the gold mine was instantly gone, which made Yuzi and Zhao Yuan feel overwhelmed. "I see what else you have to say. Don't try to cause trouble for us for no reason." After Tang Yongjun scolded him, Yuzi pretended to be calm and walked over. "Do you think you don't have the hand over the desert if you don't open a gold mine? Jiang Chen, look carefully. I don't care whether your grass seedlings can grow in the desert. This is the agreement your grandfather signed with our village. It is clearly written in the agreement that your grandfather contracted this desert for 800,000 yuan in rent for 5 years, and now it has expired. If you have the ability, you can take out 800,000 yuan now, otherwise we will take your desert away." Chapter 18. Building a desert tomato base. The desert in the orchard of Delane village was indeed rented by Grandpa Jiang Chen, with a lease term of 800,000 for 5 years. This agreement was signed when Grandpa Jiang Chen was the village chief. At that time, it was just a gesture, not a real payment. But now it is different. If Jiang Chen does not hand over the 800,000, he will definitely not be able to rent it anymore. But it is not easy to come up with 800,000 at once. What should I do, Chen? The grass is finally grown, are we going to give up? Seeing Jiang Chen's face change slightly, Li Xiaogan couldn't help asking. They have all fallen into the beautiful vision of Jiang Chen opening a desert management company. How about it? Pay the money or the land. Yuzi said proudly. Jiang Chen pointed to the date on the back of the contract. There are still 4 months, come back to ask for the money when the date comes. Brothers Yangyan, get out. Jiang Chen shouted. Li Xiaogan looked at Yuzi. Get out of here. Li Xiaogan, you son of a bitch, be polite. What's the point of you guys hanging out with him? Who wouldn't have a good life if they followed us to open a mine? Yuzi finished speaking, and went down the mountain cursing. After Yuzi left, a group of people looked at Jiang Chen. "Chen, what should we do now?" "Chen, that's 800,000 yuan, and ordinary people like us can't earn that much money in their entire lives. Well, why don't we just give up? This grass will definitely not last for 4 months. Several backbones were backing off, and Jiang Chen waved his hand at them. "You go down the mountain first, I have a way to solve it. It is unrealistic to want to make money by relying on grass now. Fortunately, there are still 4 months left, so we must find a way to make some money and pay the contract fee first. Let's find Grandpa." In the past 2 months, Grandpa would send him grass seeds on the first day of each month. Since grass seeds can survive in the desert, does that mean that seeds of other plants can also survive? In any case, he must give it a try. When night came, Jiang Chen closed his eyes early and lay down beside the grassland. After falling asleep, he soon came to the Sun Temple under the starlight. At this moment, the Sun Temple was unusually quiet, and Grandpa was reading a book in the hall. "Ah, my dear grandson is here. I was just about to send you some more grass seeds tonight." Jiang Chen said, put down the book and walked towards the hall. "Grandpa, I don't want grass seeds this time. Grandpa's contract for the desert has expired, and the village chief came to ask for 800,000. This time I want to plant some cash crops, and the crops that mature faster, the better." Jiang Chen said, "Speaking of planting cash crops, there are very few things suitable for planting in the desert, and even fewer with a short cycle. Why don't we plant tomatoes? Tomatoes can be harvested in just 4 months. and there's enough sunshine in the desert. Tomatoes have enough sunshine, so the water and sugar content are high. Tomatoes grown in this way taste the best. Grandpa said. Jiang Chen thought about it and could only do so. Okay, Grandpa, then give me some tomato seeds. After talking to Grandpa, Jiang Chen woke up. It was the first night of the new year, and Jiang Chen quickly rushed to the orchard pavilion with his things. After waiting in the pavilion for a long time, he finally waited for the tomato seeds. Jiang Chen hurriedly scooped them up. By dawn, Jiang Chen had harvested a whole bag of tomato seeds. Looking at the big bag of tomato seeds, Jiang Chen was very excited. With so many tomato seeds, it's no problem to plant 100 or 200 acres of land. 1 acre of tomatoes can sell for at least 30,000 or 40,000 yuan. Even if there are fewer fruits in the desert, 1 acre can sell for 10,000 yuan, and the 800,000 yuan debt can be paid off. Thinking of this, Jiang Chen started planting. If he wanted to plant 200 acres of tomatoes, 1 or 2 people couldn't do it. So he had to get help. Speaking of getting help, there were only a few people in the entire Delane village who could help him, and it was no wonder that those people with small surnames were the ones who could help him. The 2 big families in the village, the He family and the Zhu family, were basically mining families, which was not in line with him. Hey, Uncle Tang, I want to plant 100 acres of desert tomatoes, can you help me? Hey, brothers Yang, I'm going to plant more than 100 acres of tomatoes, can you help me? Hey, Uncle Zhu-san, I'm going to plant some tomatoes, it's not for nothing, I'll give you 3,000 yuan each when you harvest. Hey, Uncle Yunyu, are you free to come to my field to help me? I'll take care of lunch and dinner. After making a few calls, Jiang Chen looked towards Delane village. After hesitating for a while, he walked towards the old accountant's family. Dun-dun-dun, the door opened, and I was so scared that he quickly took a step back. Grandpa, Dad Kenzie is here to beat us again. After I shouted, and Lee hurried out of the house. Xiao Chen, his grandfather did something bad, and I didn't hit her. I plan to plant more than 100 acres of tomatoes in the desert. I will provide lunch and dinner. It's not easy for you to cook at home, and I was still young and can't cook. You can go to my tomato field to help later. When the tomatoes are ripe, I will give 3,000 yuan to each family to supplement my life. After Jiang Chen finished speaking, Auntie Li was a little stunned, but at this moment Jiang Chen had left the yard. Time is money, he must hurry up and finish planting tomatoes within a month. After leaving Auntie Li's house, Jiang Chen went straight to Jiang Daihu's house. Pushing open the door and going in, Aunt Xiaopo from Jiang Daihu's family was sitting at home. Auntie, I plan to plant 100 acres of tomatoes in the field. You bring Jacques-San and Erwei to help in the field. I will pay for Jacques-San and Erwei's tuition after school starts. Jiang Chen finished speaking and left before Aunt Xiaopo agreed. Time passed little by little. When Jiang Chen came to the orchard, there were already several people in the orchard. Tang Yongjun and his wife, Wei Fang, Uncle Yunyu, Li Xiangyun. A strong sound of a water pump suddenly sounded in the distance, and Ishwinyu came from the river mouth smoking a cigarette. His trouser legs were all wet. Zhuochen, I don't call you Uncle Ishwinyu even when I'm growing tomatoes. What's the matter, do you treat your uncle as an outsider? Ishwinyu came up and kicked Jiang Chen in the chest twice. Jiang Chen smiled. Aren't you afraid that you won't come? What's there to be afraid of? I'm different from them. I have a long-term vision. I'll help you with the tomato fields in the future. When you harvest tomatoes, just pay me the gas money. Ishwinyu was not a fool. He has a son who was studying in the provincial capital. When he called, he told his son about the village. Hearing that Jiang Chen had returned to the village, Ishwinyu's son asked his father to come and help without saying a word. His son also said that if you destroy the environment, you will be the eternal sinner of Delane village. Okay, Uncle Buffalo, I will remember your kindness. If the He family doesn't want you in the future, just come to me. I will always want you here. Those who can support him in farming at this moment instead of supporting the He family in mining are all Jiang Chen's benefactors. Let's get to work. Zhuochen, how do you plan it? Tang Yongjun saw that the time was almost up and asked hurriedly. When it comes to growing tomatoes, Jiang Chen has already planned it. Its seeds can earn about 125 acres of land, and there is no wide land suitable for growing tomatoes in Delane village. So he must plant tomatoes in the desert. But tomato seeds cannot be planted directly in the desert, as they are easy to dry out and die. He must first build a tomato seedling nursery base, and wait for the tomato seedlings to grow and survive before transporting them to the desert for planting. Chapter 19. Opening a new era of desert agriculture. In addition to building a tomato seedling base, Jiang Chen is also preparing to build a desert grid farmland base. What is a grid farmland base? It is a base for sand fixation and farming that combines lawns and tomatoes. The first thing to do for this base is to select a relatively flat piece of land and use lawns to build a grid in the land. The lawn is responsible for sand fixation and regulating the temperature in the desert. That's right, Jiang Chen's lawn is the function of regulating the temperature. After the grass seedlings grew up, when Jiang Chen lay beside him to sleep, no matter how hot it was during the day, he was always cool around him. No matter how cold it was at night, he was always warm around him. This shows that his lawn absorbs heat during the day and dissipates heat at night. In addition, his lawn also has the effect of repelling mosquitoes and insects. There are many insects in the desert, but in his grassland experimental field, those insects and rats dare not approach. Therefore, the grassland grid field can greatly guarantee the survival rate of crops in the grid. Even because of the insect repellent effect, even the money for pesticides can be saved. Uncle Schwinayu, Uncle Tang, let's split up. Uncle Tang, you make the molds and raise the seedlings. Uncle Schwinayu, you are responsible for watering, and I will be responsible for transplanting the grass seedlings. Jiang Chen finished speaking, and the two nodded. Jiang Chen, I'm afraid that we don't have enough people. Tang Shu finished speaking, and Uncle Schwinayu also nodded. In other places, tomatoes can sprout and grow as long as they are thrown on the ground. But this is a desert, and if you throw seeds in the desert, there is only one way to go. So if you want to grow tomatoes, you must choose a good piece of land for breeding. Breeding is to use a special iron frame machine to cultivate cylindrical molds with soil. Put tomato seeds on the molds, cover them with plastic paper and wait for them to germinate. After the seeds grow, the molds are transported to the desert and buried in a pit. This way, the survival rate is high. But it is obvious that it is a pipe dream for Tang Yongjun and Li Xiaogim to do such a big project. Were there any more people? This number is not enough. After Uncle Schwinayu finished speaking, several figures appeared in the distance beside the orchard. They were none other than Aunt Li and Aunt Xiahua. Zhuochen, we are here. After Aunt Li finished speaking, Mao hid behind her and looked at Jiang Chen timidly with his two big eyes. Come, Mao, I'll give you some water to drink. Jiang Chen finished speaking and scooped a basin of cool water and handed it to Mao. Most people on the edge of the desert drink stored water, which is drawn from the reservoir and tastes terrible. Jiang Chen's water is groundwater, running water, and it tastes great. Mao drank 2 mouthfuls and laughed heartily. Xiaoxian, follow me to transport grass, and you and my uncle will plant seeds. After Jiang Chen finished speaking, another timid person came from a distance. Zhuochen, can I come and help you? The person who came was in his 60s, and Zhang from the village, and it was a joke in the village. When she was young, she fell in love with the government servants who ate commercial grain at the grain station. The man's wife died, leaving behind 3 children. She became the man's wife and took care of the 3 children. Later, the family moved to the city. Because her husband was much older than her, he died of an illness last year. In order to sell their father's house, the 3 children drove her out of the city. They said that she was not their mother and was not worthy of staying in their father's house. And Zhang worked hard all her life, and finally ended up alone in her old age, so she returned to Delane village. Her nephews and nieces didn't like her when she returned to the village, and she lived a hard life alone. Is it okay? Just give me a meal. Seeing that Jiang Chen didn't say anything, Aunt Zhang couldn't help asking again. Okay, Aunt Zhang, just come, I will take care of your 3 meals a day in the future. After Jiang Chen finished speaking, Aunt Zhang's silver-haired face showed a smile. She was a good person. In order to take good care of her 3 children, she never hid her own children in her life. But this is the world, good people don't have a good life. Aunt Zhang stayed, and soon another group of people came to the village. Most of them were lonely elderly people in the village. They all came here because they heard from the old accountant, Aunt Li, that they could get free meals and free water. In the village, everyone has plenty of energy and time, but they only want to save money on this meal. Xiao Chen, we are here to help you. Just give us a meal. Do you need more people? After a group of old men and women finished talking, Jiang Chen was so excited that he burst into tears. Sometimes the poor are so simple. Yes. We want as many as we can. Don't look at these old ladies and grandfathers in the village. They are already over 70 years old. When doing farm work, even 2 half-grown boys may not be able to do it better than them. Gradually, there were enough people. In order to plant tomatoes as soon as possible, Jiang Chen began to take the lead. Brothers Yangyan, take a few people to shovel the lawn piece by piece. Jiang Chen looked at Li Xiaogim and said. Li Xiaogim rolled up his arms and pushed the cart to shovel the grass. After several months of growth, the grass seedlings are now half a leg high. Green grass seedlings swayed in the desert, as if pieces of green gold were dyeing the entire desert. Uncle Tang, you can grow seedlings on the 3 acres of land behind my house. Jiang Chen's family not only has deserts, but also several acres of good fields. Okay. Tang Yongjun said, and set off with seeds on his back. Uncle Buffalo lined up pipes in the distance. He wanted to ensure that the water from the river was poured into the desert as soon as possible. After everyone started to get busy, Jiang Chen looked at his future mother-in-law. And, don't do it. I have some money here. Go to the street to buy some vegetables to cook for everyone. Jiang Chen said, and took out an envelope from his pocket with several thousand yuan in it. This was what Jiang Chen earned from studying and working hard when he was in college. No, keep your money to grow tomatoes. Your uncle and I still have some money in our pockets, which is enough for food. After the aunt said this, she put down the things in her hands and went down the mountain. Jiang Chen was no longer obsessed, anyway, since he would marry Tang Yanqi sooner or later. After everyone got busy, the desert had never been so lively. Everyone worked from sunrise to sunset. When night fell, they sat together on the edge of the desert, eating a big pot of rice and chatting about the beautiful night. Time passed little by little, and half a month passed in a blink of an eye. During this half-month, Jiang Chen was very surprised that the tomato seedlings sent from the underworld had grown a few leaves. Originally, they could only sprout, but now the speed has advanced by several days. Jiang Chen's grass was not planted yet, and he had to lead people to plant tomato seedlings in the desert quickly. In the evening, when the temperature in the desert dropped, Jiang Chen set off a plate of firecrackers in the crowd. A crackling sound of cannons rang out, and a group of people gathered their strength. March to the desert. Jiang Chen shouted, and Li Xiaogan rushed to the desert with several carts full of tomato seedlings. From sunset to sunset, clouds filling the sky, and then to nightfall, the stars shining on the earth. Jiang Chen led people to plant tomato seedlings in the isolated tomato grids. After the tomato seedlings were planted, Shuinu and Wei Fan pulled the hose to spray. They did not stop all night until dawn. The sun rose from the east, and the red sunlight sprinkled on the earth. In a golden desert, a patch of green suddenly appeared. The emerald green is the vigorous tomato seedlings, which are trying to stretch their bodies and absorb the sunlight. They are like thriving babies, and they grow only as long as they have time. Jiang, your seeds are good, and they grow really fast. In just one night, the transplanted tomato seedlings actually grew a finger taller. It depends on whether they can survive today's sun. After Jiang Chen finished speaking, the sky gradually became hot. The people who had worked hard all night were tired. Jiang Chen asked everyone to go back and rest, and wait until the sun was about to set before continuing to plant tomatoes. Everyone went back, and Jiang Chen sat alone on the iron cage to watch the tomato seedlings. As long as these tomato seedlings can survive today, he can start a new era of desert agriculture. Chapter 20 Recruiting 100 Workers. At noon, the temperature in the desert suddenly soared to 30 or 40 degrees. The huge temperature difference made Jiang Chen unbearable. At this moment, under the sun, the newly planted tomato seedlings seemed to be bathed in the spring sunshine. They raised their heads, waved their leaves, and kept shaking their bodies. It seemed that the scorching sun was not a disaster, but their panacea. Great. This tomato is not afraid of high temperatures. Jiang Chen said excitedly. He felt that he had really opened the mysterious door to desert agriculture. From noon to dusk, the scorching sun set and the breeze blew. At this moment in the tomato garden, there were patches of tender tomato seedlings. There was no sign of withering. Oh my God, these tomato seedlings have withstood the heat wave in the desert. When Shuinu appeared in the desert, he was completely surprised. Oh my God, this is the first time I have seen tomatoes live in quicksand. Jiang, where did you buy these seeds? Soon, several uncles and uncles asked while praising. Jiang Chen smiled and shook his head. He would not tell them the origin of these seeds. This is a seed that I asked my friends to specially develop to adapt to the desert climate. You can't buy it. But when I expand the area in the future, maybe I will give you some seeds. Jiang Chen finished speaking, and a group of people were ready to work with Jiang Chen. There are not many opportunities to make money in the village, and farming can only earn enough food and clothing. Sometimes the wind and sand are strong, and the children's tuition and miscellaneous fees cannot be paid. Okay, are you still planting tomatoes today? After Li Xiaogan finished speaking, Wei Fan had already come with a flatbed cart. Planned. Jiang Chen finished speaking and led everyone to plant tomatoes again. He wanted to build a desert tomato field of more than 100 acres, which was a huge project. A group of people got busy, from sunset to dusk and then to night. When the people dragged their tired bodies out of the desert, the sky was already white. When more than 10 acres of tomato fields gradually appeared in front of Jiang Chen began to think about buying fertilizers again. Tomatoes absorb the heat of the sun, and although they grow very fast, they are not strong. They need fertilizers, and if they can't get enough nutrition, they may not bear big fruits. So Jiang Chen took the only money he had and went to the county to buy fertilizer, which he transported to Delane village. In the morning, Jiang Chen carried bags of fertilizer and spread it himself. After spreading bag after bag of fertilizer over 10 mu of land, Jiang Chen's work-study money was all used up. The first batch of tomatoes was about to bloom, and if the fertilizer couldn't keep up, the yield would be reduced. He had to buy more fertilizer, but he had no money. What should he do? So in the evening, just as Jiang Chen was thinking about where to borrow some money, Tang Yongjun came. On the desert ridge, Tang Yongjun started smoking his pipe as soon as he came. "Jiang Chen, I have something to tell you." After Tang Yongjun finished speaking, Jiang Chen asked with a worried look on his face, "What's the matter?" "The speed of our planting is too slow. We have to recruit people quickly. Otherwise, the tomato seedlings in the greenhouse will bloom in the greenhouse. If the tomato seedlings bloom in the greenhouse, it will be over, because the greenhouse is very crowded and tomatoes cannot be produced." After Tang Yongjun finished speaking, Jiang Chen felt a headache when he mentioned recruiting people. "Uncle Tang, everyone in the village who can come has come. The rest, they won't come even if we call them. There are nearly 1,000 people in Delane village, which is a mixed village. Those who come to Jiang Chen to help are basically those small surnames who migrated from the desert." Jiang Chen made a rough estimate. There are 37 people who come to help him now. Most of them are old, weak, women and disabled. The only few laborers have to be responsible for technical work such as watering. The people in our village are not trustworthy. They have taken benefits from Zhao Yuanyi and will not come to help. Besides, they didn't come to sabotage and speed up the mining, which is already the most benevolent. After Tang Yongjun finished speaking, Jiang Chen nodded. In this regard, the villagers did a good job. Why don't we look for other villages? After Jiang Chen finished speaking, he mentioned recruiting people from other villages, which was exactly what Tang Yongjun wanted. "Zhao Chen, I know that if we can't sell these tomatoes, we won't have money to pay them. However, we can owe them money first, and pay them all after the tomato picking is over." Tang Yongjun finished speaking, and Jiang Chen nodded. This was the only way for now. "Okay, then Uncle Tang will go to Qianla village to have a look. Just say that food and water are provided, and it will be 1,500 yuan a month. I think some people will come to do this. Water is definitely what the people need most. In Delane village, there is no groundwater. All water must be transported from reservoirs and other places by car. So the water fee is very expensive. If they don't want to spend money, they have to carry a load and walk dozens of miles to fetch water. Okay, then I'll go to Qianla village to have a look." Tang Yongjun finished speaking and rode his family's electric car to recruit people. Time passed little by little, and more than 2 hours passed in the blink of an eye. In the evening, a few figures appeared in the orchard, and then more and more. People in different clothes, some carrying hoes, some carrying dustpans, came over happily, talking and laughing. When they arrived at the tomato field, Jiang Chen looked around and saw that there were more than 100 people. Most of them were middle-aged laborers, and there were also many women. Does it really cost 1,500 yuan a month for food? Many people asked loudly when they arrived at the field. Food is provided, 3 meals are provided, 1 in the evening, 1 good meal at night, and 1 breakfast in the morning. Tang Yongjun kept explaining, and someone asked from behind, "Do you really deliver 2 buckets of water a day?" "Deliver 2 buckets of water, definitely 2 buckets of the freshest water." After Jiang Chen shouted to everyone, a group of people grinned. "The water in the orchard of Delane village is delicious, which has long been famous. Okay, then I'll come and work for you. It's not the wheat harvest season yet, and everyone has nothing to do. Someone provides food, 2 buckets of water, and money. Where can you find such a good thing?" With more than 100 people joining in, the speed of work quickly became apparent. Jiang Chen no longer had to spread fertilizer himself. Someone had taken over his job. He should think about how to make money. Damn it, it's so expensive. You have to pay them, and you have to pay the people in your own village. 121 workers earn 15,000 a month, which is at least 540,000 in just these 3 months. And they have to provide food, which costs a lot of money. Now he has at least 120 workers. Don't ask why there are so many people. Farming in the desert is not like other places. In the plains, you only need to spread tomato seeds on the ground and wait for management. But in the desert, you need some people to directly raise seedlings. After the tomato seedlings grow up, they need to be moved to the desert manually for planting. And you not only have to plant tomatoes, you also have to plant large areas of green grass. In addition, you have to hire people to water the plants every day. All these things cannot be done by machines, and all have to be done manually. Relying on labor costs a lot. Let alone other things, providing food is also a lot of money. Jiang Chen is not a stingy person. After all, you can't let people work without eating enough. 2 meals a day for one person costs 10 yuan, and breakfast costs 5 yuan. 15 yuan a day, more than 120 people a day is 1,800 yuan. An ordinary farmer, with no savings. 54,000 a month, where can I get the money? No, I have to go to the bank to get a loan. In the early morning, just after dawn, Jiang Chen rode his electric bike to Daliua town. He wanted to go to the bank to borrow money, but he needed a guarantor, so he wanted to find an old classmate to try. Chapter 21. Help from a noble person. In Daliu town, Chu Shixin was waiting for him in the car. After getting in the car, Jiang Chen fastened his seatbelt and drove towards the county town. Big Bear, can I get the loan I told you on the phone? After Jiang Chen asked, Chu Shixin shook his head. Not sure. Don't think about the loan for now, I'll introduce you to a backer. What you need to consider now is to save your desert first. Ross Zhao and Wang Qiang in the county have joined forces. This time, asking you to pay 800,000 contract fees is just the first step. They don't know how to deal with you in the future. After Chu Shixin finished speaking, Jiang Chen asked, then who are you taking me to see? If I can't get a loan today, I won't have to wait for them to come to me. I will collapse on my own. Chu Shixin didn't say much. He drove directly to the county party committee compound. Through a corridor, Jiang Chen followed Chu Shixin to an office. The office was written with the deputy county office. What are you doing? You want me to apologize to the Wang Qiang. When he reached the door of the office, Jiang Chen turned around and wanted to leave. If he had to hand over the desert to get a loan today, he wouldn't do it. What are you thinking about? When did your old classmate hurt you? Come in quickly, it's County Magistrate Li Boyan. Chu Shixin knocked on the door, and a very young voice came from the door. Come in. Chu Shixin pushed the door open with a creak, and the office was simply furnished. It was a south-facing room with shabby windows, and it was obviously a product of the last century. There was a desk in the room, and the desk was also a little shabby. Sitting behind the desk was a young man, who was not young, about 35 or 36 years old. The young man was a little fat, with fair skin, and looked a little gentle with black framed glasses. Zhao Chu, come in quickly. Li Bolian stood up from his seat after saying that. Chu Shixin dragged Jiang Chen into the room. The two sat down on the sofa, and Li Bolian came over and locked the door. County Magistrate Li, this is the Jiang Chen I mentioned to you. Chu Shixin said, and Li Bolian hurriedly stretched out his hand to Jiang Chen. Young man, your name is well known. Now the county is talking about you every day. I heard that you planted a grassland in the desert. Zhao Chu has been telling me, but I have been too busy to take a look. It just so happens that you are here today, let's talk about it. After Li Bolian finished speaking, Jiang Chen looked at Li Bolian, who was not much older than him, and he did not feel too restrained. Hello, County Magistrate Li, I often hear Daxian say that you are very concerned about desert management. I have always wanted to invite you to the desert, but I have been busy recently. After Jiang Chen finished speaking, Li Bolian smiled, walked to the cabinet, took out tea leaves and made 2 cups of tea. To be honest, I am a postdoctoral fellow in environmental science at Shangjing University. I came to Longchen County to work as a temporary official. My original job is in a scientific research institute in Shangjing. The leader asked me to work here for 3 years, and this year is the last year. After Li Bolian finished speaking, Jiang Chen finally understood why he, the deputy county magistrate, was so young. That's great. You can go back to Beijing this year and don't have to suffer here anymore. Jiang Chen finished speaking, and Li Bolian handed him a cup of tea. To be honest, I don't want to leave here. I feel that leading the people to fight against the desert in the desert is much more comfortable than doing experiments in the laboratory. By the way, I heard from Zhao Chu that you have developed viable tomato seeds in the desert. There are no outsiders today, so tell me honestly whether this is true or false. Li Bolian has always wanted to go to the desert to take a look, but his secretary has always said that this must be a lie. Jiang Chen and his people did this just to fight against the village's refusal to open a mine. Their ultimate goal is just to get more compensation. That's true. The grass seeds have survived. Now we have to wait and see whether they can produce grass seeds after winter, and whether the new seeds can survive in the second year. Once the new seeds can survive, my technology will be successful. But before my technology succeeds, I must get some money first. Otherwise, if I fail, the village will take my desert away, and I will have to pay the village 800,000 yuan. Jiang Chen told the purpose of his visit. When it comes to money, it is not a problem. At least not for Li Boyan. The problem is whether what Jiang Chen said is true. Then let's do this. I happen to have nothing to do now. I will go to your desert to take a look. If it is really as you said, I will be your guarantor. Let's borrow some money from the bank as your startup capital. Li Boyan was in a temporary position, so he did not have much power. But as a guarantor, it is not a problem to borrow hundreds of thousands of yuan. Hearing that Li Boyan was willing to be a guarantor for him, Jiang Chen thought about it and agreed. Okay, then I'll trouble County Magistrate Li. Jiang Chen finished speaking. County Magistrate Li took his straw hat and followed Jiang Chen downstairs. On the way back to Dilane village, Li Boyan said a lot. Jiang Chen learned one thing from his words. Li Boyan didn't want to go back to Beijing. He wanted to stay in Longchen County. He wanted to make a career on the border of the motherland. But it's not easy to make a career in Longchen County. So he wanted to find a partner. Just like Wang Qiang found Zhao Yuanyi, he also wanted to find a partner. His partner must be someone who can dedicate everything to desert control. Obviously Jiang Chen is the person he is looking for. Zhao Zhang, I really hope what you said is true. Then I have a reason to persuade myself to stay. When the car arrived at Dilane village, Li Boyan looked at Jiang Chen seriously when he got off the car. If you also want to make Dilane village an oasis, I think you should stay. Jiang Chen finished speaking and got off the car with a slightly fat Li Boyan. Passing through the village, this village with a history of hundreds of years is branded with the traces of time. Walking in the village, the quietness of the village seemed as if time had stopped here. It's great. Li Boyan said, and several people walked through the village and came to the desert west of the village. There was a piece of land between the village and the desert, and several greenhouses were built in the land. At this moment, several villagers were busy in the greenhouses. What are planted in these greenhouses? The greenhouses are basically on the ridges of the fields. At the junction of the desert and the village, this is semi-desertified land. This is the grass seedling base, and this is the tomato seedling base. Jiang Chen introduced and walked to a greenhouse and opened the door. The moment the door was opened, Li Boyan saw a green lawn. Is this the grass seedling you planted? Li Boyan was suddenly a little disappointed. If a piece of grass is planted in the greenhouse on the ridge of the field, it is said that grass is grown in the desert. This is simply nonsense. This is just a seedling base. The real lawn is planted in the desert. Jiang Chen said and took the two people through the seedling base and walked into the orchard. The wind and sand in the orchard suddenly became strong. If the nursery base is still considered normal farmland, then the orchard in Dilane village is a complete quicksand desert. Wait, are those fruit trees real fruit trees? If you're listening to this novel on a channel other than Fanfic World, it means they downloaded and uploaded it without effort. We cordially invite you to visit our channel, Mundo Fanfic Novelas. There you'll find the original version of this story and you can explore many other novels of various genres. We're waiting for you to immerse yourself in a world of incredible novels. Chapter 22. Your backer is here. At the edge of the desert, an orchard in the yellow sand suddenly appeared in front of people, which was really surprising. It's real. The trees you see are real. This is my grandfather's orchard. The youngest tree here is 5 years old. Jiang Chen said, walked to a small tree, broke off a branch and handed it to Li Boyan. Li Boyan looked at the branch and then looked at an apricot tree in the distance that was at least 20 to 30 years old, and couldn't help but praise it. I can't believe it. The tomato field is just ahead. Just as Li Boyan was looking at the branch with emotion, Jiang Chen called him. Oh, go and have a look. Li Boyan's legs trembled a little after he finished speaking. He knew what a great miracle it was that a fruit tree could live in the desert. Walking to the west of the orchard, the first thing that came into view was a grassland covering an area of more than 10 acres. At this moment, the grass in the grassland has grown to the height of the ankle. The green grass seemed to pull people into the grassland all of a sudden. But this is not a grassland, this is a yellow sandy land. Li Boyan was a little dazed, and he squatted down gently. He carefully observed the delicate blades of grass, closed his eyes and smelled them carefully. The grass had an indescribable fragrance, a special smell that he had never smelled in his more than 10 years of studying plants. It's this is the grass that we have been studying and looking for that can survive in the desert. After a while, Li Boyan opened his eyes. It's worth the trip, it's really worth the trip. His research institute in Shangjing is responsible for studying sand fixation. The older generation has worked hard for decades, and they never thought that this thing would be completed by a small farmer on the edge of the desert. If they can survive this year, it will be a miracle. Li Boyan no longer knew what words to use to praise it. I'm just afraid that this miracle won't last until that moment. After Jiang Chen finished speaking, Li Bolian shook his head. No, it will definitely last until that moment. From today on, I'm here. I don't see who dares to destroy this piece of grass. Whoever destroys it will be a sinner of the nation and a sinner of mankind. After Li Bolian finished speaking, Chu Shixin patted Jiang Chen on the shoulder. He knew that his hard work during this period was not in vain. He finally found a backer for his old classmate. County Magistrate Li, come and see my tomato seedlings. Jiang Chen said, and then took Li Bolian to the desert further west of the grassland experimental base. They were almost in the heart of the desert. At this moment, the wind in the desert was getting stronger and stronger, and the sand dunes were surging bigger and bigger. And in a sand dune field, a square field suddenly appeared. The grid field was neat and orderly, which made people feel very comfortable. Is this your tomato field? I have never seen this kind of planting method. Looking at the terrace scenes appearing in front of him, Li Bolian was a little shocked. This is my square farmland. Planting grass around it can kill each other and keep warm, and store water. After Jiang Chen finished speaking, Li Bolian felt that Jiang Chen was the person he was looking for. He finally had a reason to stay. Sure enough, the wisdom of the working people cannot be underestimated. After Li Bolian finished speaking, he walked into a small square field, which was only more than 40 square meters. It was full of tomato seedlings, and the tomato seedlings had already bloomed. These tomatoes grew very thick, not inferior to the tomatoes on the plains at all. Moreover, sitting in the tomato field, although it was hot outside, Li Bolian felt a slight cool breeze. He was a little surprised, and when his hand touched the green grass, the coolness instantly brightened his eyes. It's grass. This grass can regulate the temperature. Li Bolian said, and Jiang Chen nodded. Yes, so I said this grass is a treasure. These treasures are definitely more valuable than the gold buried in the desert. After Jiang Chen finished speaking, Li Bolian clapped his hands and stood up from the ground. He squinted his eyes at the 70 or 80 acres of tomato fields in the distance. If these tomatoes can bear fruit, these 70 or 80 acres of tomatoes can earn at least millions. Of course, let's not talk about money first. This is to create a new era in the desert. Just tell me what you need, I will make the decision for you today. After Li Bolian finished speaking, Chu Shixin was very excited. Da Chinzi, what are you waiting for? How much money do you need? Hurry up and tell me. Speaking of money, Jiang Chen is really short of money. He has a lot of ideas, but he can't implement them because he has no money. I need a lot of money, County Magistrate Li. You see, I have so many workers here. They need to eat 3 meals a day here, so I have to build a canteen. I calculated that the canteen will be built on the ridges next to the orchard. The land is mine and I don't need to buy it separately. But it will cost at least 300,000 yuan to build a house and at least 50,000 yuan to buy kitchen equipment. Now ordinary people need 1,800 yuan a day for food, and I am already short of money. It takes at least 15 days for tomatoes to come down here, which will cost another 20,000 to 30,000 yuan. In addition, these tomatoes and grass cannot do without water, and Uncle Buffalo's water pipe is too thick. I plan to buy a water pump myself, pump the water over, and use it to irrigate the farmland with a spray. I calculated that this will cost at least 250,000 yuan. By the way, all our tomato seedlings and grass seedlings have to be carried from the ridges to the desert. Flatbed trucks cannot be used, and it takes too much manpower and time for everyone to carry them. I'm wondering if we can build another road to get here. In this way, the tricycle can be driven into the desert, and it will be much easier to pick tomatoes or transport seeds. Jiang Chen listed a lot of needs in a row, and Li Bolian, who was originally in high spirits, gradually became ugly. I think you will have to spend 2 or 3 million yuan on this. Alas, it's not easy to do. Li Bolian works in the county, and he knows that the county's finances are tight at the moment. The county's finances are tight, so there's no way to provide funds to Jiang Chen, nor to help Jiang Chen build roads. The only way now is to let Jiang Chen go to the bank for a loan. But now because there's no money to pay wages, the county is almost afraid of borrowing from several banks. They can't lend Jiang Chen so much money. What should I do? Leader, please help me think of a solution. At most 2 months, when I sell all these tomatoes, I can pay back the money. After Jiang Chen finished speaking, Li Bolian took out his phone and called along a revitalization bank in the county. Hello, I want to help someone get a loan now. It's a newly graduated student. How much money can I borrow? After Li Bolian finished speaking, he began to ask about Jiang Chen's information. After Jiang Chen finished explaining his conditions, the other party shook his head helplessly. I'm sorry, if you do some business, maybe we can lend you 200,000 or 300,000 yuan. You are farming in the desert, the risk factor is too high, we really dare not lend you money. But today, County Magistrate Li actually said that with your guarantee, we can only give you a loan amount of 200,000 or 300,000 yuan at most. The president on the other end of the phone did not dare to offend Li Boyan. Now everyone in the county knows that there are only two people who can take over the position of the old county magistrate after his retirement. One is Wang Qian, and the other is Li Boyan. And everyone knows that Li Boyan is unwilling to return to Shanjing, and his application has been submitted. Chapter 23 Tomatoes are ripe. Zhao, then you should go and get a loan of 300,000 yuan. Let's build a canteen for the villagers first. I'll help you find a way to build a sprinkler irrigation system and a road. After Li Boyan finished speaking, he looked at the green in front of him and suddenly felt the burden on his shoulders. He didn't know before that he wouldn't be sad even if Jiang Chen failed. But now, if it's because of money that the world's most famous sand control company was strangled under his rule, it would be really unacceptable. Thank you, leader. After Jiang Chen finished speaking, several people left the desert. If a person wants to succeed, the right time, the right place, and the right people are all indispensable. There are seeds in the desert, Jiang Chen is the right place, someone helps him, and he has the right people. Now he lacks the right time. And the only one who can give him the right time is Li Boyan. When evening came, the desert was quiet. The people were still transferring tomato seedlings to the green fields, and some people were constantly planting grass seedlings in the greenhouse into the desert. At this moment, Jiang Chen took a steamed bun and sat on the ridge of the field to eat it. Not long after, a black car stopped at the bottom of the field. It was none other than Chu Shixin. Chu Shixin returned home and scraped together 100,000 yuan to lend to Jiang Chen. Because he knew it would take at least a week for Jiang Chen's loan to be approved. But the people's stomachs can't wait that long. Take it, don't give up, maybe you will really be the savior of our Longchen County in the future. Chu Shixin handed a suitcase to Jiang Chen. Jiang Chen smiled bitterly. What kind of benefactor can I be? Thank you, I will calculate the interest on this 100,000 yuan. When I become rich in the future, I will double it back to you. After Jiang Chen finished speaking, Chu Shixin shook his head. Take it for now. By the way, I have another good news for you. I asked someone to inquire, and the province is already approving and supporting the desert greening plan. The so-called desert greening plan refers to a set of plans designed by the province to encourage private capital to plant trees and reforest. This plan clearly states that planting trees in the desert for greening will give a certain amount of subsidy per tree per square meter. Okay, even if there's no subsidy, I will plant grass in Xi village. Jiang Chen is different from Chu Shixin. Chu Shixin's home is in the county town, while Jiang Chen's roots are in Xi town. In this life, he must fulfill his grandfather's dream and bring his ashes to Xi. Okay, let's do this for now. After I leave, if those bastards in the village want to cause trouble for you again, call me anytime. I will come to deal with them in a minute. Now that Li Boyan is backing him up, Chu Shixin is not afraid of those people. After Chu Shixin left, Jiang Chen began to get busy. With 100,000 yuan, Jiang Chen planned to build a shed on the edge of the desert. The shed will be used as a temporary canteen. Jiang Chen went to the town to buy shed cloth first. After buying the shed cloth, he bought 2 containers. After everything was done, he returned to Delane village and converted the containers into a temporary warehouse next to the orchard. Tang Yongjun used wooden frames to prop up the framework of the greenhouse, and with the help of Uncle Buffalo, a greenhouse was quickly built. After the dining shed was completed, Jiang Chen contacted the village electrician. Electricians who originally didn't want to come to Jiang Chen to connect electricity, but Jiang Chen had Li Boyan's approval slip. The electrician didn't dare to offend him and had to come to connect electricity to Jiang Chen. After the electric poles were erected on the edge of the desert, the wires were soon pulled into the orchard. After 2 days of busy work, the orchard was powered and the lights were on. Jiang Chen also asked to connect electricity to the tomato field. After all, tomatoes grow very fast and are about to bear fruit. When it's time to pick tomatoes, it will be at night, dark, and it's not easy to pick them. The electric poles were erected all the way to the tomato field, and everyone could finally work at night with peace of mind. A week later, the loan was approved. Originally, these loans were used to build a canteen. But Jiang Chen decided not to build the canteen first. He wanted to use these loans to purchase a batch of spray irrigation equipment. First, he wanted to buy an electric water pump, which was available in the county. In addition to the pump, he also needs to buy water pipes. He needs to lay the water pipes in the orchard, grassland experimental area and grid fields. In addition to the water pipes, he also needs to buy spray connectors. All the grass in the grassland experimental area needs to be irrigated by spraying. Jiang Chen did it right away, riding his motorcycle directly to the county town. Another week passed in a blink of an eye. When the people from the county came to debug the equipment, Jiang Chen gave him 250,000. Half a month later, in the early morning, under the afterglow of the rising sun, Jiang Chen came to the tomato field of more than 100 acres. At this moment, the tomato field has matured in a stepped manner. The first batch of tomatoes has turned red, and there are almost more than 30 acres of tomatoes. Jiang Chen, I never thought that these tomatoes would actually bear fruit. Looking at the red and huge tomatoes in front of him, Tang Yongjun's eyes were slightly red. Don't cry, look at your achievements. Jiang Chen, your tomato yield is higher than that on the plains. Look, this tomato weighs more than 1 kilogram. The color is beautiful, this acre of land must yield at least 7,000 kilograms. Now the tomatoes are not yet harvested, and the price is high. The greenhouse tomatoes in the supermarket can be sold for 4 yuan per kilogram. You have to find a way to sell them quickly. Otherwise, when the tomatoes are harvested, the supermarket tomatoes can only be sold for 1 yuan per kilogram. Ishuini lit up his pipe and started smoking. When it comes to selling tomatoes, Jiang Chen is well prepared. Tomatoes can be sold for 4 yuan per kilogram in the supermarket, and others can only give him 2 yuan at most when they buy tomatoes from him. Even if they give 2 yuan per kilogram, this acre of land can be sold for about 14,000, and more than 120 acres of land can be sold for more than 1.6 million. This money is enough for him to pay off his debts. Uncle Tang, you continue to let everyone to plant the lawns, I'll go to the county. If everything goes well, there will be a car to pick it up in the evening. Jiang Chen said and rode his motorcycle to the county town. Now Jiang Chen's grandfather sends him seeds once a month, and he already has enough seeds for tomato seedlings. So, for the past 2 months, his grandfather has been sending him grass seeds. Jiang Chen has planted all these grass seeds in the grassland experimental area, and now he has more than 20 acres of grassland. From the village to the county agricultural wholesale market, it was just noon and there were many people in the agricultural wholesale market. Jiang Chen found a stall and asked, "Uncle, are you buying tomatoes?" Speaking of tomatoes, the bearded man who was reading a newspaper on the recliner sat up. "Yes, how many tomatoes do you have?" "More than 120 acres, all high-quality tomatoes, what's the price now?" After Jiang Chen finished speaking, the 40-year-old boss looked Jiang Chen up and down. How can this guy have 120 acres of tomatoes? After thinking for a while, the bearded man said, "Tomatoes with good skin color 1.8 yuan per caddy. Small tomatoes with bad skin color 1.5 yuan per caddy. If you sell them, I will give you an extra 20 cents. 1.8 yuan per caddy, this price is within Jiang Chen's acceptable range. Okay, I don't have a car, you happen to go to our village to get it." Jiang Chen left a phone number for the boss and went back to the village. After returning to the village, Jiang Chen gathered all the people who could help and walked into the grain field. Everyone start picking, pick it when it's almost red. Jiang Chen shouted to the villagers, and the old men and women started working with baskets on their backs. By dusk, Jiang Chen led the people to pick more than a dozen baskets of tomatoes. After the tomatoes were picked, they had to carry them to the roadside of the village little by little. It was getting dark, and a car slowly drove into Dilane village. Seeing the car come in, Jiang Chen hurriedly took a cigarette to greet it. "Come on, boss, have a smoke," Jiang Chen said, and hurriedly took out a lighter. Chapter 24a. Melee. The window with the car was opened, but the bearded boss inside did not get out. "Little brother, I'm sorry, I can't pick your tomatoes." After the boss finished speaking, Jiang Chen was stunned. "They have been picked, and you said you don't want to pick them. What's the matter?" "My tomatoes are of very good quality. Look at how big they are. Where can you buy such good tomatoes?" After Jiang Chen finished speaking, the boss opened his bag. He took out 1,000 yuan from the bag. "I'm so sorry, I really can't take them. This is a little compensation for you, that's it." After the boss finished speaking, he started the engine and drove away. As the boss ran away, a group of villagers were stunned. They just stood on the side of the road and looked at the baskets of tomatoes they had picked, confused. "What should I do? The tomatoes can't be left after they are picked," Tang Yongjun said anxiously, and Jiang Chen frowned. "I'll go to the county again." After Jiang Chen finished speaking, he rode his motorcycle towards the county farmer's market. When he arrived at the farmer's market was still very lively. "Boss, are you buying tomatoes? Look at my tomatoes, they are big and fresh," Jiang Chen said, and took out a few tomatoes from his bag. Seeing someone selling tomatoes, the vegetable vendors gathered around. These tomatoes are good, how many do you have? If you have a lot, I'll give you a higher price. For this, I can give you 2 yuan. How many acres do you have? As soon as Jiang Chen took out the tomatoes, several vendors rushed to buy them. 120 acres. Jiang Chen decided to sell only 120 acres, and when the remaining tomatoes were ripe, he would distribute them to the people who helped him. Where? Delane village. In the tomato market, a group of people heard that the tomatoes were from Delane village, and they turned around and left in fear. No, we can't buy them. A bald man said, and Jiang Chen went up and grabbed him. What's going on? Why don't you buy tomatoes from our Delane village? Do you look down on us? Jiang Chen finished talking angrily. Seeing Jiang Chen sweating in anxiety, the bald man couldn't help but whispered, "It's not that your tomatoes are bad." Someone from above us said hello. "Young man, Longchen County can't buy them anymore. You should think of other ways." The bald man kindly reminded Jiang Chen, but he turned around and left before Jiang Chen asked. "Wait, I'll sell it to you for 1.5 yuan. Tell me who said hello." Jiang Chen went up and grabbed the bald man, who pushed Jiang Chen away. "I really can't buy them. Even if you give me 1 yuan per pound, I dare not buy them. I won't be able to sell them even if I buy them here. You young man, you must know who you have offended." The bald man said and left. The county didn't buy tomatoes, and Jiang Chen couldn't transport these tomatoes to the city. Because the city is far away, the round-trip fare will cost a lot of money. And it's not certain if they can be sold in the city. What should I do? Jiang Chen panicked. If he couldn't sell these tomatoes, he would not be able to pay back the 800,000 yuan he owed the village. Moreover, the 300,000 yuan loan he borrowed from the bank would expire in 2 months. When so much money was squeezed in front of him, where would he go to earn it? "No, I will never give up," Jiang Chen said, and rode his motorcycle back to Delane village. When he returned to Delane village, a group of people gathered at the entrance of the village. Jiang Chen saw a car, and a young man got off. The young man was accompanied by Hiyuzi, Zukai and others. "Oh, the tomatoes are ripe. Yeah, these tomatoes are good." Hiyuzi stretched out his hand to take the tomatoes in the basket, and Yongjun hit his hand with a stick. "Take your dirty hands away. No one has picked and eaten a tomato since they grew up, because all the villagers know that this is Jiang Chen's life-saving money. Haha, you can't eat it, and you can't sell it, so it's just rotting in the field. Come on, let's do a good deed today, I'll buy 2 yuan." After saying this with a smile to Hiyuzi, he took out 2 yuan from his pocket and threw them on the ground. No one picked up the money on the ground. Jiang Chen stepped on the accelerator and ran over. Hiyuzi was almost knocked away. "What are you doing? You almost hit me." Hiyuzi cursed and Jiang Chen took off his helmet. "Say what you just said again." "What's wrong with saying it again? Anyway, I can't sell it, so I'll just rot in the field." After Hiyuzi finished speaking, he couldn't help but pick the black mole at the corner of his mouth. "Is it you who did it? I'll kill you." After Jiang Chen cursed, he got off the motorcycle and hit Hiyuzi. He's beating people, he's beating people." After Hiyuzi shouted, a group of young people suddenly rushed out from the corner of the village. They came up and surrounded Jiang Chen. "I'll see who dares to move. I'll stab anyone who moves to death." Just as a group of people were about to beat up Jiang Chen, a young man in his 20s with a scar on his face pulled out a knife from his back. After the young man finished speaking, Zukai hurriedly called out to the group of people. "Wait, don't do it yet." Zukai knew this young man best because he was from his family. His name was Zuleli. When he was in school, he liked young and dangerous and learned to be loyal. As a result, he stabbed someone when he was fighting with others. He was arrested and sentenced to 3 years. While in prison, he fought with his saddlemat again and was chopped on half of his face by his saddlemat. After being released, Zuleli couldn't find a job everywhere. Later, when he saw Jiang Chen growing tomatoes in the desert, he wanted to follow him. Jiang Chen didn't despise him and took him in. Zukai knew that this guy was very harsh. He said that he would never show mercy if he stabbed someone. "What are you afraid of? There are so many of us, why are we afraid of an ordinary person?" The door of the BMW opened, and a young man wearing a flowery dress, flowery pants and white leather shoes got out of the car. This guy had dyed green hair and was holding a crocodile skin bag. "Boss Zhao, they can't sell their tomatoes anymore, so let's not make trouble." Zukai whispered, and Zhao Yanyi stared. "What are you afraid of? Hit me and smash me, we have money, if you break anything, I'll pay for it." After Zhao Yanyi finished speaking, a young man went up and kicked over the tomato basket. The red tomatoes rolled all over the ground. The tomatoes that were grown with such great effort were trampled to catch it by a group of young people in suits. Fuck your mother. In the distance, Tang Yongjun picked up a brick and threw it at the crowd. These were the things they had worked hard for several months. This group of people was too sinful. Go, fight him. After Shuinu shouted, a man in black went up and grabbed his neck and punched him on the head. Damn it, you dared to hit my uncle. Jiang Chen was extremely angry. He picked up a stick from the ground and smashed it on a young man's head. Soon a big chaos began. In order to teach Jiang Chen a lesson, Zhao Yuanyi called the people from the two vans. They were all young men in their 18s and 19s, in their prime, with knives and sticks in their hands. On Jiang Chen's side, except for Zhu Wanhuan, Jiang Chen, and Li Xiangyan, the others were either old or disabled. So it didn't take long before a group of people were beaten to the ground by the young people. Jiang Chen was agile. After he kicked down the two young men, he saw that the workers were all up to the ground. He looked at Zhao Yuanyi, who was standing by the car smoking. Damn it, I'm going to kill you. Jiang Chen cursed, rushed over and kicked Zhao Yuanyi in the crotch. Zhao Yuanyi screamed, covered his crotch and knelt on the ground with a thump. When the other brothers who beat people turned around, Jiang Chen had already grabbed Zhao Yuanyi's green hair and punched him in the face several times. Chapter 25. Do you want to fly to the top of the tree and become a phoenix? Stop it, or I'll kill him now. Jiang Chen shouted and grabbed Zhao Yuanyi's neck, and Zhao Yuanyi kept resisting. Don't stop, beat them to death. After Zhao Yuanyi shouted, Zhu Kai took advantage of Jiang Chen's unpreparedness and grabbed Jiang Chen's arm. He also ran over and strangled Jiang Chen's neck. Seeing that Jiang Chen was controlled, a dozen young people took sticks and beat Shuinu and others on the ground. Time passed little by little, and when the villagers at the entrance of the village cried and screamed, people who were enjoying the cool at home soon came out. When they saw Yuzi leading a group of people to beat the villagers, Delane village was angry. Fellow villagers, grab your weapons, they are hitting us, go and beat them. Uncle Yu shouted, and he knocked on the door of each house and called people. In the evening, the setting sun in the west was as red as blood. Soon, hundreds of people came to the main road at the entrance of the village. They were young, and they held sickles, hoes, and large kitchen knives in their hands. When a group of people rushed to the village entrance, the dozen young men in the village who were beating people with sticks were terrified. Beat them, damn it, when did we let outsiders call the shots in Delane village? After Uncle Tiny shouted, a group of people rushed over. Zukai and Yuzi were terrified. They let go of Jiang Chen and just wanted to run away. Tiny kicked Zukai to the ground. You grandson, you let outsiders to beat people from our own village, are you still a human being? Zukai was kicked to the ground, and Yuzi turned around and ran away. The sun was setting, and the night was about to fall. The village entrance had already become a place of wailing. The night enveloped Delane village, and the temperature dropped a lot in an instant. The sound of police cars rang outside the village, and soon several police cars blocked the village entrance. Seeing the police cars come in, Zukai and Zhao Yuanyi cried excitedly as if they saw their father. They beat people. Zhao Yuanyi covered his eyes, which were black from being beaten. Then, several sturdy trees at the entrance of the village were full of people tied up. These were the young men hired by Zhao Yuanyi. Some of them were cut open, while others had their legs broken. What happened? The captain said, frowning. Here's what happened. We wanted to help Jiang Chen sell tomatoes, but he didn't appreciate it and brought people to beat us up. He ran out from nowhere. He was the one who called the police. You bastard. Is this how you buy tomatoes? Uncle Yu said, pointing to the dozen young men tied up on the trees. Needless to say, the captain was not stupid. He knew better than anyone what happened in Delane village. Take them all away. The captain said, and took away all the people who participated in the fight. In Dalu town, after Jiang Chen and others were locked up, a bad premonition appeared in Jiang Chen's heart. Oh no, I got fooled in this fight. Jiang Chen had a vague feeling that he was being plotted against. Fighting could result in 15 days of detention at the least, or a prison sentence at the worst. Once he was sentenced, what would happen to his tomatoes? Wouldn't they all be ruined? Once the tomatoes were ruined, how would he pay back the 800,000 yuan owed to the village and the 300,000 yuan owed to the bank? If he couldn't pay back the money, the village would take the desert, which was so big, to mine it. Alas, I was too impulsive. These bastards are really good at plotting. Jiang Chen cursed, and sure enough, before midnight, the results came out. Zhao Yuanyi and Jiang Chen were suspected of leading the fight, resulting in more than a dozen people having their legs broken and their heads injured. The situation was particularly bad, and according to the criminal law, they had to detain the two leaders. Then the prosecutors would bring a lawsuit, and because of the bad nature, they would be sentenced to at least 3 years in prison. After hearing the results, Jiang Chen felt cold in his heart. His ambitions were going to be ruined. No, I can't just sit there and wait for death. I haven't turned that desert into grassland yet, and I haven't let my grandfather return to his tuxie village. I haven't seen my parents' school with my own eyes. Jiang Chen gritted his teeth and finished speaking. He was unwilling to be arrested like this. I want to make a phone call, I want to see a lawyer. Jiang Chen said to the guards, and a very young police officer looked left and right. Seeing that there was no one, he handed Jiang Chen a phone. Hey, why are you doing this? Isn't it just a desert? If they want it, just give it to them. You can ask them for 1 or 2 million. If you have money, why don't you go to the mainland and do something? After the young policeman finished speaking, Jiang Chen shook his head. My grandfather devoted his life to the motherland, and my parents devoted their lives to education. In this life, I can't complete their journey, so how can I live alone? Some people are destined to fight for the entire country from birth. Hello, County Magistrate Lee, I'm in Duluya town now. I've been arrested, come and save me. Jiang Chen made a call, and soon in the night, Li Bolian put on his clothes and rushed to Duluya town. Late at night, the starry sky was invisible. In order to avoid more trouble, Jiang Chen was taken to a police car and was sent to the detention center in advance. There was another person sitting in the car, Zhao Yanyi. Although Zhao Yanyi was beaten black and blue, he was smiling. He could smile because he won this time. Poor people are poor people. Some people are destined to be at the bottom of society when they are born. What's the point of your struggle? The insignificant people at the bottom are nothing in front of capital. Tomorrow I will go to jail with you, and my mine will be opened in Delane village the day after tomorrow. 3 years later, I will be a billionaire when I come out, and you will only have hundreds of thousands of accounts waiting for you when you come out. This is you. You are obviously a mouse, but you have to learn to be a phoenix. Do you think you are great? Greatness is nothing in front of interests. After Zhao Yanyi laughed, Jiang Chen shook his head. He and Zhao Yanyi were not the same kind of people. As soon as the car left the door, it suddenly braked sharply, and several people fell to the ground. Damn, who was so blind? Don't you dare to stop any car. The driver cursed, and Li Bolian had already opened the car door and got out. Let your head come over. Li Bolian shouted, and the driver quickly recognized him. The driver was a little surprised. He didn't know why Li Bolian suddenly appeared here. But he was just a driver after all, and he didn't have the courage to challenge a deputy county. Soon, several people responsible for arresting Jiang Chen arrived. County Magistrate Li, why are you here? The captain greeted him with a smile. County Magistrate Li scolded him. What right do you have to arrest people? Who gave you the right to arrest people? After County Magistrate Li finished scolding, the captain hurriedly opened the car door. Zhao Yanyi fell in the car and his head was full of stars. Sorry, I caught the wrong person, get out of here quickly. As soon as the captain finished speaking, Zhao Yanyi laughed. See. This is the power of money. As long as you have money, you can do whatever you want. Zhao Yanyi smiled and said. Jiang Chen snorted. You can do whatever you want if you have money. You can do whatever you want if you have money. If you have the guts, let them let you go. Zhao Yanyi got out of the car with a swagger, and Li Bolian in the distance was almost furious. Are you mentally ill? I hate people who are lawless because they have money. You guys should stop doing this. I think you are a nuisance in Duluya town. Li Bolian said angrily, and the captain and his men were terrified. Leader, it's my fault, it's my fault. Arrest him quickly. The captain handcuffed Zhao Yanyi again. End of this chapter. Thank you very much for reaching the end. Don't forget to like. Looking for more exclusive content and immediate access? Subscribe to our Patreon. Remember, every like, subscription, or donation encourages us to continue. Thanks to everyone, see you in the next video.